We're good.
So it is 6:06, February 11th, Wednesday, 6 p.m. And I'd like to call the regular town board meeting to order. Roll call.
Ray is here.
Jones here.
Leonard here.
Johnson here.
Okay, and Supervisor Church was excused. So now we do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Treasurer Lowe, have we met open meeting law?
Yes.
All right, now we're gonna administer an oath. Where would you like to do that?
We're gonna do it right over here. That way he doesn't have to wait behind everybody's chair. All right, just raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I, Ryan Johnson,
Hi, Brian Johnson.
having been appointed to the office of interim supervisor,
Having been appointed to the office of interim supervisor,
but have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
I have not yet entered upon the duties thereof,
swear that I will support the Constitution
swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of said office to the best of my ability.
of said office to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
All right.
Everybody has to hit that once in order to be,
I'm short enough in a public slide.
it's like our form of baptism.
Are we not putting the
Um,
agenda up on the screen?
So the next item on the list is to approve the meeting agenda. And I had a previous discussion. We're going to table 11A to a future meeting. This is a topic on remote call-in for board members. And we wanted to discuss the other aspects of remote call-in, like if somebody's out on business for a week and they want to be able to call in. We wanted to just be able to fill out the policy so we can deal with any of those options. So,
If I may,
go ahead.
next time that we put it on an agenda, we'll change the verbiage a little bit, so everyone knows we're talking about a Zoom appearance or,
Okay,
I know that was a question from one of the residents.
okay.
So are we tabling to next meeting, or we're just tabling indefinitely?
I probably would go to the next meeting, but I was planning to send out it in advance to everybody so that you had time to review it. And I was hoping to be able to do that yet this week. So I'm just gonna make a note so I don't forget.
So I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda with item 11A being tabled to next meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? All right, four, unanimous. So now we're into the consent agenda. Is there anything people want to pull out, or, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to pull up the ETA ESD report, and just talk real quick about it after the consent agenda is approved.
And I had shared some edits with Clerk Olson, and I think those have all been updated, right, as far as the votes on the regular town board meeting.
And what will be posted.
Yeah.
And then I did receive a notice from Christina Murphy that the next meeting for the library is tonight. So, but that was the only thing she had on her report.
That was addressed.
Okay, I didn't have anything that I noticed in any of the reports.
I wasn't aware you had to send a should send them ahead of time. I got a couple, real minor things.
Okay, well, let's,
Sorry.
you wanna pull something out then? Because this is.
No,
Oh,
just some edits to some of the.
Okay.
so,
You
Apologies.
can email
Email?
and then, yeah, anything that's sort of spelling.
Substance.
Stuff,
Yep.
that's not a problem. Content can't be changed.
Gotcha.
But on the special meeting of the electors, we added the vote at the bottom, right?
Correct.
Okay,
Everything you and I discussed, I did as we talked.
perfect.
Okay,
Do you want
so,
to?
But,
And they'll be, do you want me to, they'll be,
in the-
they're already posted online? or-
No,
No, after-
they're in the packet, and once they're approved tonight is when they get posted tomorrow.
Okay.
Do you want to address that Michelle's edits included adding vote totals on all the motions from,
oh,
There's
in the
a-
minutes?
yeah, for the motion to
Okay.
approve the consent agenda. All right, so we're pulling out one, ETA, ESD. And do you
I'll
want-
make a motion that we accept the consent agenda with pulling out the ETA ESD report
And.
and all the edits added
To the.
to the minutes from the last meeting
And the special meeting.
and the special meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion about it?
The only other thing I just wanted to mention to everyone is the Booth Lake Memorial Park meeting this month is the lottery for the pavilion rentals, which is next Wednesday on the 18th. The doors open at 6 at the Town of Troy Town Hall, and the lottery starts at 6:30 if you're interested in pavilion rentals.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes unanimous. And you didn't say where you wanted to pull this out, you wanted to
I'll do it right
now?
now, right, that's what I said after the consent agenda.
Okay,
So just real quick, my apologies, there was no report, there was a little confusion between
It was on
Clerk
me.
and myself, and not Sue, it was not Sue this time.
Nope, that was on me.
So, there is now, I've added it all to your guys' packet. What I really wanted to discuss was, our district is being approached by several other municipalities that would like to join the district's, East Troy Area Emergency Services District. So there's gonna be a big meeting, this first meeting is gonna just be for, board members, councils, administrators, mayors, and clerks are invited to this. I would appreciate the support from this board if they can make it. It's gonna be February 19th, at 6:30 PM at the Walworth County HHS building. And basically, there's gonna be presenters from Wisconsin Policy Forum, North Shore Fire Chief Robert Whitaker will be there, Aurora Healthcare System, and Ayler's Financial will be giving a report on the study that they've recently done with combining these different municipalities all under our district or flag, so to speak. So this is gonna be something that's could possibly be very big in our community. I'm hoping that it's going to offset some of our costs by spreading out some of the capital across, but we're gonna find that out and see how that all comes in, so. So the other thing, Gene, is we'll need a quorum
Yep,
set for that,
it's already posted,
okay.
been posted for weeks.
That should get your foot in the door to change how everything is. done.
Yes, that's what they've been fighting back on me about. They're like, well, it's all gonna change anyhow, and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe in a couple of years, but
right now.
we'd like it to change now, but I'm still in a fight with that. I got the boxing gloves on, I'm getting knocked around, so.
And then I just,
And then that's all.
And so it's 7 communities effectively?
No, that's what North Shore runs, is 7 communities.
Oh.
I'm not exact, the town of Lafayette is the biggest one right now that would like to get in, but there's talk of the rest of Spring Prairie, Lyons, Sugar Creek, there's several other communities around that are talking about this, so. So we'll see, this is just the first big step, I think, and this is something that I think all supervisors, and if you can make it, I think it would be really good to make.
Yeah, nobody here except
And,
you has been involved in any of these discussions, been all at the ETA, ESD.
and also this is going to count as the East Troy Area Emergency Services District meeting, monthly meeting. So that this will be it. Okay? Okay.
And then I
Very good.
just want to add for everybody to understand that because I failed to put the report in the packet, it will be posted in additional documents
We,
under tonight's.
Goose, we failed.
Okay.
And then I don't know if we need to make a motion to accept that, or that's just good, right? Just
Oh.
report.
No.
You don't need to accept that report?
No.
We didn't accept it in a consent agenda. But,
Oh,
No,
okay,
he's just reporting.
all right. So then we're on to the clerk treasurer's report.
So tax receipts to date are $12,138,826.79. With regard to the administrative assistant position, the office support, part-time temporary position, we are beginning interviews tomorrow. We've had several submissions of resumes and letters of interest. We are also starting to interview potential clerk candidates tomorrow. We've had quite an overwhelming, I would say, interest. No one with specific skills, but they've got qualifications that we're looking forward to talking with them starting tomorrow. And then I have resolution 2026-5, a resolution updating chargeback rates for the town of East Troy. Whereas the town of East Troy has in place an ordinance permitting the town board to adjust on an annual basis chargeback rates to reflect the actual cost incurred by the town of East Troy in participating in public projects of other works where requested. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of East Troy, Walworth County, Wisconsin, that the following chargeback rates shall apply for the year 2026. DPW level 1, regular hourly rate 60.09. DPW level 1, overtime hourly rate 82.34. DPW level 2, regular hourly rate 55.24. DPW level 2, overtime hourly rate $75.05. DPW level 3, regular hourly rate 44.41. DPW level 3, overtime hourly rate $63.45. DPW level 4, regular hour rate, this is our part-time snowplow drivers, $29.13 per hour. Admin level 1, regular hourly rate $49.58. Admin level 1, overtime hourly rate $66.53. Admin level 2, regular hourly rate $47.69. And admin level 2, overtime hourly rate $63.76 per hour. This resolution ratifies the action of the town board at the February town board meeting such that these rates shall apply to the entire calendar year 2026, dated this 11th day of February 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve East Troy Resolution 2026-5.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous.
All right, resolution 2026-6, a resolution establishing new hourly wage for chief election inspectors. Whereas the town board of the town of East Troy has considered the current hourly wage paid to chief election inspectors, and whereas the current hourly rates have been found to be insufficient, and whereas the town board of the town of East Troy believes that an increase in the hourly rate paid to chief election inspectors should be increased. Now therefore be it resolved that the hourly rate paid to chief election inspectors shall be increased from $15 to $17 per hour. Dated this 11th day of February 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-6, establishing new hourly wage for chief election inspector.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? All right, that passes unanimous. You have anything
That's all.
more? Okay. So now we go to 7 or 8, which is public comments. And I'll just quickly read through this. We're going to have a 10-minute presentation from the East Troy Community School District Board. But for everyone else, after that, please be advised that per state, well, also for you, I guess it applies. Per state statute 1984, sub 2, information may be received from the public. Comments are limited to a 4-minute period per person, except for the 10 minutes for that. Be further advised that there will be no discussion on the information received, and no action will be taken regarding public comments. Upon conclusion of this citizen participation segment, members of the audience are not allowed further comment unless they are participating in a public hearing, or if specifically allowed by majority vote of the town board to involvement in a special agenda item. So with that, I'll let Dale take the podium. It should be, right?
Yes.
Yep.
You got it?
Please do it.
Thank you. My name is Dale Ames. I live at N7297 State Road 120, East Troy. Actually grew up there. I grew up in East Troy, went to elementary school, middle school, graduated high school, 1972, so pretty old. But anyway, I am on the East Troy School Board, and the East Troy School District is asking for a referendum to help fund some of the challenges that it is facing, and it is facing quite a few. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background about me, and we're going to circle around how important it is at the end of this background to see how we're doing at the East Troy School District. Anyway, I graduated in 1972, no money for college, went to work at Trent Tube, got an apprenticeship, electrical apprenticeship, graduated, got a journeyman electrician license, went to American Motors as a maintenance supervisor. They were pretty happy with me, so they put me down by the robotics line. Spent about 2-3 years down there. Then American Motors was belly up. So there was a new factory starting up in Bloomington, Illinois. Mitsubishi and Chrysler had a partnership going together. So I went to that facility as a design engineer, automation design engineer for Trim and Final. Was in 9 years in engineering there. Also spent some time designing equipment, the automation for paint, robotics, and things like that. And then Chrysler got a hold of me and offered me a job at the Sterling Heights Assembly Plant, about 16 miles north of Detroit. So I moved the family there and was an automation specialist there, robotics specialist. So the opportunity came for me to buy the family farm in 2003. So I bought the house and 5 acres, and then 2005 I bought the rest of the land. So I transferred to the Kenosha Engine Plant, which was running to about 2010, and then we shut that plant down. So I retired for about 9 years, and the wife says, go to work. So I went to work. I was a skilled tradesman at the Target facility in Oconomowoc. Was there for a couple of years, and then I finally retired again. And at the same time, I was able to get on the school board. So initially, when I was on outside the school board, I thought, you know, the school district is not doing a good job of managing the money, they're incompetent, and so on and so forth. But within the first year of being on the school board, I was able to kind of figure out that that's not the case. In fact, they handle their money very well. They don't waste their money. Luckily, we were able to implement a skilled trades program that they already had started. And I examined their skilled trades program, and there were about 3 or 4 courses that were kind of, they needed to have. They were technical courses involving motors, communications, and things like that. They went forward and contacted Gateway Technical Institute and implemented those courses into their curriculum. And I believe that the skilled trades is the future. While I was in Detroit area, I went and got my MBA, because when I graduated from high school, there was no money for college. But anyway, all my career and everything I had was based on the simple skilled trades. And I think there's so many opportunities for skilled trades, for students at the East Troy School District, and I can guarantee you, from my experience, that nobody has a skilled trades program better than East Troy does. And of course, East Troy still faces all the problems that we all face. Inflation rate between 2019 and 2024 was almost 20%. In 2019, what you had was the inverted yield curve. The T-bills flipped. The short-term T-bills are paying more than the long-term T-bills. So that was fault of printing so much money. So even though we have inflation today, like 2% or whatever, the inflation that we had stays. It doesn't go away. It's still there. And just like us, the school district is facing all the same challenges. Trying to hire qualified people to move the district forward. Increasing their scores and hiring people in the middle school to attract students from leaving. That's the main thing. It's one of the main things that we are challenging. We challenge the budget, and East Troy's done a good job because from tax period to tax period, it's about 6 months. But the bills come in every month. So in order to pay the bills every month, it was short-term borrowing. And when it was 1%, it wasn't so bad. But as soon as 2019 comes around, it goes like 7 to 8%. Luckily, through the savings that East Troy was doing, they were able to have enough money in their fund balance not to short-term borrow anymore. And they have done that since about 2020. So that's very good management of the money. So anyway, they have to keep their teachers. When the first referendum failed, prior to me joining the school board, there was 37 resignations. Students, teacher after teacher after teacher was putting in a resignation. And how unstable that made the school district is unbelievable. We were able to hire back those teachers when the referendum was passed. And that totally stabilized the whole district and kind of put it on a footing that would let it drive forward. So I'm just saying that I know it's painful. Taxes are painful. I know I pay them. I'm not ultra wealthy or anything. They hurt me as much as they hurt anybody else. But it needs to move the district forward. So that's why I want to consider, on this referendum, I want you to consider how it affects the students, how it will affect the school, and how it will affect the future of everybody in this room here. So I don't know if anybody has any questions I can answer real quickly or anything like that. I'd be happy to do that.
Technically, we don't. This is just a public comment.
Okay,
so-
I'm sorry. Okay, so
Sorry.
I have some handouts for people. I'll leave them here on a chair. They can look at them and go through them.
It may be helped by the agenda.
On the table in the hallway.
Okay.
Yeah, and we might, the board might take one.
So, all right. Thank you again for everything.
All right, thank you. Any other public comments?
I'll leave it on. Before I get up there, I just want to, I'm going to refer to this in a few minutes here. We're just going to talk a little bit about some things here. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Brian.
All right, I'll refer to that in a minute. Brian Fines at 8680 Wilmers Grove Road. I just wanted to touch base a little bit about the wake surf memorandums that were put out. And Joe, in your memorandum, you give a rationale and justification, and you talk about enforceability and lawsuit liability at the foremost of the board's mind. Well, there's evidence that many communities are working to solve the challenge comparatively voluntarily through use of advisory zones and agreed upon behaviors. And And it's that, I mean, that's good, I know many are, but a lot of those lakes that are making that work are really big open lakes with a lot of room for error. And when I saw this map, where we're trying to force, where they're trying to wake surf between these deep basins through 80-foot wide troughs of deep water, that's irresponsible. I mean, you talk about loss and liability, a boat that is wake surfing in this channel with other boats coming at it, another wake boat, where do they go? So they either go out and they trash the flats that are there, or they make a collision. So I have a problem with that, and I think that's why we're working to get an ordinance, because you need to mark the areas. We don't have that kind of space on Lake Pewaukee, not like Lake Geneva, or not like Pewaukee. So just a point on that, that was really my main point. But I want to talk a little bit about the lawsuit concerns. And I think everybody's concerned about lawsuits, so that's not a problem. And in the bottom, you talk about there's one lawsuit pending against Town of Scott, which is correct. We'll see if that makes it to trial or not. I mean, Town of Scott, the Birch Lake, the mean depth is 6 feet, the deepest is 13 feet. I don't think even BRB or Potters, I don't think anybody would say that's responsible to surf on there. So they picked that for a lawsuit. I don't know where that's going, but I don't think it's a great case for that. And then also, you talk about Town of Manitowish Waters. I gave you it's a transcript for an injunction hearing. Now, while Town of Scott is the only active lawsuit, all the others are statements of claim, which are precursors for lawsuits. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was in Madison today, and that's what I heard today. The others are statement of claim, so Scott is the one lawsuit. But this injunction hearing and the decision there is really the only decision made regarding a wake surf ordinance. And I'm not going to get so much into it. He denied the injunction. It was more of a technicality about two lakes that border Boulder Junction, Manitowish Waters, and the timing. That's not where I'm going. If you go to page 22, I marked up starting on line 5, he makes some comments about the actual ordinance itself. And I'm going to read it so everybody else can hear it. He said, "This ordinance was not created out of whole cloth." To comment on that, most of the ordinances are on the Crystal Lake model. They're all worded the same way. Okay, so they're all basically the same. That's what he's saying there. He's in cloth. It mirrors, as best I can tell, with ordinances that have been passed in other places. And it's not a total ban. Again, we're not proposing a total ban either, but, and actually Manitowish Waters is. When they mean total ban, it's about banning the boat. He said, he goes on, he goes, now my understanding is that in Lac La Flambeau, they actually have a total ban. They actually ban the boat.
Brian, that's time.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. Sorry, and I just turned my volume up. I thought I had it way, way up. but-
Okay, you can read through it the rest, but this is actually positive in terms of not fearing a lawsuit, and this board's gonna have to make a decision. It's more important to avoid a lawsuit if you're on good legal standing and there's opinions out there. I put the public trust doctrine there. You have to make a decision. Are we gonna protect the lakes and the people or not?
Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Pat?
Good evening. Pat Bergen, W1950 Pastime Lane. As many of you know, I'm chair of the Lake Beulah Management District. I speak in support of the Management District's proposal to permit wake surfing in designated areas on Lake Beulah. But first, a little bit about lake districts. In creating Chapter 33, which is what authorizes lake districts, the legislator set very specific goals for lake districts to improve or protect the quality of public inland lakes. It seems to me like the board wants to wait until all lawsuits regarding wake surfing litigation or legislation are resolved. As an attorney in my other life, I do understand the concerns about litigation. You're right to take it seriously. But the threat of litigation should never be a reason to avoid doing the right thing for the town. I would never let one of my clients do something like that. And avoiding this issue has the potential to create far more exposure for the town of East Troy. Nor should the board wait for the Wisconsin legislature to act. We know that it hasn't taken any action in spite of numerous attempts over the last several years. Lake Beulah is simply too precious a natural resource to wait on litigation or the legislature. We know surfing causes damage to our shorelines, lake bottom, fish habitat, and water quality. Based on this evidence, the better course is to address this issue now. The ordinance proposed by the management district is tailored to permit wake surfing on Beulah, but to protect the public and the environment from the harmful effects of surfing. There's all kinds of authority from both the United States Supreme Court and the Wisconsin Supreme Court that laws that restrict but do not take custody of personal property in the interests of public health, safety, and welfare, including the protection of the environment, pass legal muster. Think about all the examples of the ways in which we restrict people's personal property, restrictions on the use of ATVs. The town already has a restriction on the use of boats. We all know we have to operate at a slow no wake speed within 200 feet of shore. Has the town ever been sued by ATV owners, boat owners? If this board is waiting for zero liability on all of its decisions, that time will never come. Moving on, Brian mentioned that there is only one lawsuit in McKeever versus the town of Scott. I can't imagine what those guys are even thinking. The only other lawsuit was dismissed, and the judge specifically stated the ordinance is tailored to the health, safety, protection of the public and the environment. Yeah, we've got one law firm running around filing notices of claim. Those aren't lawsuits. Now, moving along, BRB is suggesting a 20-foot depth based on a partial reading of the St. Anthony study. They need to read the next sentence. The St. Anthony study is explicit. The 20-foot depth recommendation should be interpreted as relative to the top of submerged vegetation. As we have seen on Beulah through our loss of fish habitat, 20-foot depth is not sufficient to protect Lake Beulah's aquatic vegetation. They then go on somewhat unbelievably to cite McFarland study in support of the 300-foot argument. McFarland's specific conclusion is that 500 feet is a rational distance to prevent shoreline erosion, damage to maritime structures, and danger to other boat users. Even crazier, these are all boats. One of the biggest boats in that survey is a 2015 Nautique G23. That's 10,150 pounds ballasted up. A 2026 model is nearly 2 tons. 2 tons heavier. Guess what? It isn't even the biggest boat in Nautique's lineup. And the boats are getting bigger every year. Please consider the draft ordinance establishing two surf zones in the largest areas of Beulah. The ordinance is narrowly tailored to protect the health of the lake and strikes a balance between all lake users. Thank you very much for your time, for your efforts on this matter. I would love to stay and hear you deliberate, but unfortunately I'm very, very late to pick up one of my kids from practice.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make sure the volume was good now, but you were right on.
Was I too loud?
No.
Oh,
Hello, Beth Lanham, W1544 Drive. Two comments. One, you specifically recommended that the management district take the lead on this wake boat stuff, and they have done that, and now it feels like you're stepping back from that request. So I would encourage you to listen to what their recommendation is. They studied it, they spent a lot of time on it. I reviewed the packet, and the map that the responsible boat owners are suggesting has 5 different areas instead of 2 specific zoned areas. And my concern is that they are joining several areas that would require somebody pretty much to go through a very shallow area and would knowingly damage the lake in 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 areas. So the reason the management district stayed with the 2 areas was to protect those shallow areas. So have a lot of issues with the 5 areas proposed by BRB. I also have heard Chief Gurecki say that enforcing would be relatively able to do that with 2 areas. I doubt seriously if they can enforce 5 different areas. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Steinek, W 1969, just a little road. I just want to continue on with what Beth was saying, and what I want to point out, and this is regarding the VRB proposal. What this is the DNR designated sensitive areas on the lake. And as an example, if we look at the map that was included with their information, the largest DNR area, if you will, is right here on your map. So again, in order to get to that area, you will literally be traversing in 4 feet of water to get there. In addition, if you measure 300 feet from the shore, that is a very narrow area, you will actually traverse lines. So you would basically void the ability to even put a hole in there. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is the proposal of 20 feet, 300 feet that they're making, you literally will have to interconnect areas of the lake to try to create what they're trying to do. And this would be a killer for the sensitive area of the lake right here. I don't know why they'd even be proposing something so foolish.
John Stos, North 8831 Stringers Bridge Road. I want to talk about the management district tonight. They're some of the biggest hypocrites we got in town. Let's just bounce back to 89, 90, when they made 3 lots out of 1 lot over at the Double D's property. Illegal as hell, but it was an inside job, but they got away with it. The management district, I attend all those meetings. They were down at the county talking about the dam, and somebody spoke for the management district up there, and it was never talked about on the record. There was never a vote, there was never a resolution granted by that, and it's just getting sickening. All right, they hide behind this chapter 33s, we protect the water no matter what, we're the god of the lake. And Patrick Bergen lives right next to a guy, on the other side of him is John Becker. And the middle neighbor between the 2 guys just spent $250,000 on a rock wall on his property with no permits. I don't know what John Becker and Pat Bergen were looking at, but they weren't watching what the hell was going on there with no permits. It's really sickening how these hypocrites come up here, run their mouth, jam on everybody, and they don't hold themselves accountable to what they're pushing on everybody else. I agree we need to protect the lake. We got to make sure we manage this wake enhanced boating. I'm not anti-protect the lake, but I'm anti-bullshit, and they're selling a lot of bullshit. Done.
Okay. All right ahead. Yes.
Gary Franzine, W1530 South Shore Drive. First, I'd like to help Mr. Stos to understand that example he was giving, that is under investigation. It's not that they've gotten away with something. It is definitely being investigated by the county at this point. But that's not what I mostly came to talk about. I want to talk about the proposal that the BRB is making. First of all, I was surprised because I thought the management district's proposal was the one we were going to be really taking a good look at. But I'm really pleased that the BRB folks are going to have the education program that shows that they do recognize that there is a difference between a ski boat and a wake enhanced boat. And they're willing to provide information to people who want to learn about that difference and how you can be respectful when you are driving a big boat that does bring big waves to the lake, to make it safe, to make it work. I'm concerned about their proposal because of the small areas, and mostly I'm concerned about that because the people that are going to be coming from off lake are not going to be aware of that. I don't know how the town is going to help to show what areas people can be driving in when it is a large area and then it goes to a very narrow area between the two, if we are not banning that whole area, if it's not a circle and another circle. I'm also concerned about the sensitive areas. How are people from off lake going to know where those sensitive areas are? If they haven't had the education that the VRB is bringing. Is there going to be some sort of list that people that have had the education can do it? I know that the state is now talking about providing education to kids when they're taking, as 12-year-olds, the voter safety. They're going to include information, or they're proposing at this point, including information in that education to the kids that are taking the voter safety courses through the DNR. I think that's a wonderful idea. I personally would really worry about my granddaughter driving a wake boat, even if she's had the education, but I think it's a start. I also worry about when we are opening up to having boats from other lakes coming onto our lake with the ballast issue. If we had some sort of a sticker program or something, we could show that this boat has promised that they are only going to be on Beulah. They can take the boat off and keep it in their yard, but only going to come to Beulah unless they have been able to wash with that 140-degree water or higher, to make sure that all of what is in their ballast is going to be clean. These are all things I think need to be considered by the board when they are saying that we are going to have different methods other than a ban to be making this good decision to keep our lake clean and keep it without the invasive species coming to it. So, thank you.
Yes, sir, Steve.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Chairman Jones and other board members. My name's Steve Hewing. My lake address is W1763 Lake Road. I'm here tonight as president of Protect Lake Beulah to discuss the topic of lake surfing and provide comment on the ordinance prep proposal being introduced by Barb and the BRB proposal. Barb Church proposal is the result of many, many months of study, investment by the LBMD, and input from citizens and experts alike. It is a proposal founded in fact and science, and it's a compromise solution that allows wake surfing to continue on Lake Beulah. In short, it's a win-win for the community, and it was created using proven language and methods from other communities just like East Troy. As already explained, the solution proposed by BRB is problematic, and that the map opens areas to wake surfing that are not suitable for that sport, and it allows surfing far too close to shore. It's also problematic in that it relies on a promise of future education as the main deterrent to damage, rather than enforcement of specific rules. And for those reasons, I cannot support it in its current form. Given the fact that the LBMD was asked by this body to recommend rules, which they have, I would strongly recommend that this very body forward that ordinance language as prepared by the LBMD to the DNR for their review, and then reconvene for a decision whether to enforce that ordinance at a later date. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Carla George, North 859 East Sturners Bridge Road. I would like to correct you that we actually, John and I went in front of the Lake Management District meeting, and we brought that fact to them. They did not bring it or notice it on their own. We did. We brought it to them. So what you're doing right now is after the fact, and that's what the Lake Management does. It's always, if they get caught, then they react. Thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Nicole Hudson, W1721 South Shore Drive. Excuse me as I'm getting over a cold. I want to address the portion of today's agenda that talks about a pause on the wake surf discussion and suggestion that adopting an ordinance could expose the town to litigation. I also want to address the claim that there's been a lack of collaboration. Over the past year, the community has provided everything that the board has requested. You asked for scientific studies, and they were provided. You asked for examples of ordinances from other municipalities, they were provided. You asked for a compromise on zones and middle ground solutions, and those were provided. You specifically asked the LDMD for a proposal, and that was provided. You asked for stakeholder collaboration and the lake organizations, including PLB, Bueller Responsible Voters, and others. Camps, residents, everyone has been meeting, sharing data, and working towards solutions for months. So when I hear now that there's been a lack of collaboration, it is incredibly frustrating. The collaboration has been happening, but apparently not here at the board team. The only thing that's happened, or not happened, is action. And we're being told now that creating an ordinance could expose the town to lawsuits. But that logic raises a very important question. Yes, I don't disagree. Everything opens us to litigation, no? So if creating an ordinance exposes you to lawsuits, then wouldn't it beg the question that passing any ordinance that goes beyond a state statute creates litigation risk? Which means that every single ordinance that we have carries the exact same risk. So we have noise ordinances, zoning ordinances, building ordinances, environmental ordinances. All of these could be challenged by somebody who was wrong. Yet we still pass them because governing requires us to make difficult decisions to protect the public. Now it sounds like the town is willing to accept the risks of doing nothing, which is really accepting the risk of safety to everybody, including our natural environment, as well as all of the boaters, the swimmers, the paddlers, the fishers, you name it. Doing nothing is not neutral. Doing nothing is a choice, and it carries its own consequences. We have children that are learning to sail. We have youth camps with canoeing and paddleboarding and swimming every day. We have anglers and kayakers and families with small crafts who cannot safely navigate large engineered lakes, especially in small zones that bring everyone together. And our shorelines and lake bottoms are being affected. We've seen the studies. You mentioned non-collaborative tension, but that tension is not a reason to avoid governing. Tension is a sign that our community cares very deeply and wants to work together. I think we've seen that in how all of us have come together and gone from very far to a middle ground that is not moving forward very well. And the voluntary actions noted by BRB are not a substitute for policy. Voluntary actions are not enforceable or permanent, and they do not protect the town if something goes wrong, including from litigation. It's the board's responsibility to protect our public safety, protect the natural environment, and act in the best interest of the town. That responsibility does not disappear because an ordinance might be challenged. It becomes even more important. As a community, we have done our part. We have provided science, we have provided examples, we have provided compromises, we have provided testimony, we've come to public hearings, we've gone to meeting after meeting after meeting. What we need is leadership, not another pause, not another delay. We need to be safe and protect the people who are utilizing the lake resources and protect the natural environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
John Finney, N9299 East Shore Road. I'm also getting over a cold. So first of all, I want to thank the board and Jean and Jen and admin for stepping up and for all the time you all have invested. It's seen in the meeting packets, in the public hearings you've hosted, listening sessions. Thank you to Chief Drecke for keeping us all safe and working with the town board and all the factors and working on the lake. Thank you, Todd, for keeping our roads clean. Appreciate it. So anyway, we live on Lake Beulah. We're lucky enough to do that. I love the lake as much as anybody. I've been following this matter like most of us here, put in many, many hours. I was at the Richard Phelps meeting about a year ago, and I walked out of there saying, wake boats, gotta go, we need to ban them. But like a lot of people, over time, the emotions wore down a little bit, started getting more information, started to take a more balanced look at what is reasonable, and it occurred to a lot of people that mitigation is a middle step between doing nothing and banning. And in 2025, there was no mitigation whatsoever on wake and hand surfing. There were no buoys, there was no ordinance, there was no patrols per se, and we made it through 2025. So coming forward, 2026 is the decision that you're going to be looking at in the near future in terms of how to manage the situation in the best way. And, unfortunately, you guys were handed a lawsuit by the Lake Beulah Management District, I believe, in the first week of 2 weeks of your tenure. So what I understand, if you're a little gun shy about another lawsuit, and in fact, Lakes at State put out like Monday in their newsletter that they'd like to see a statewide statute, I guess, that protects townships from frivolous litigation. So even they realize that you guys would be exposing yourself if you do some novel ordinance that hasn't been attempted anywhere else in the lake or in the state, even though it's well-meaning. And I believe Attorney Mills on 2 occasions has recommended a wait-and-see position for 2026. Now, whether that's just for a ban or for moving forward with wake-enhanced buoys, etc., I'm not sure about that, but you have a tough job here, tough decision, and I just want to say thank you for all the work you've done. I also have a lot of friends with the Beulah Responsible Boaters. We're pontoon people. I'm not a big wake boat fan, but the Beulah Responsible Boater people that I know are extremely nice people. They love the lake. They're very responsible. I think they showed that in 2025. They're willing to step up and do education. And I think signage at the boat launch, signage when somebody checks into the parking area. Somebody mentioned having stickers if you're an outside boat. Having the police patrols that Lake Beulah Management District is putting $50,000 toward. It's going to go a long way. We had none of that in 2025. And, we're out there all the time. We're watching all the time. I didn't see any big issues. If you feel like the lake is on the brink of disaster, it's on the tipping point, it's going to turn into a mud hole, then you definitely want to take some sort of drastic effect. As a Lake Beulah person, I don't see that. I see clean water reports that nobody wants to talk about. The lake is very healthy. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay.
Rob Siegel, North 8778 Wilmers Point Lane. Is that all I have to say? East Troy. Good evening, board members. I recognize you've spent a great deal of time listening to the wake surfing discussions, reviewing research, hearing from passionate community members on all sides. And I understand the broader legislative conversations happening in Madison add another layer to what is already a complex issue. So I'm going to keep this focused and quick. As you deliberate tonight, I respectfully offer a couple of questions for you to consider. One, what's going to be the best approach to effectively protect Lake Beulah while maintaining fairness and balance for all users? Second, given all of the proactive steps that the board has already taken with the AIS prevention efforts recent, your support of the increased patrol presence and buoy installation and expanded education, these measures, along with BRB's proposed depth and distance of 20 feet and 300 feet, will demonstrate an ordinance success through collaborative efforts. My encouragement to the board is to pursue a balanced ordinance, one that includes ongoing education, responsible enforcement, careful review, and thoughtful collaboration. That path may best serve the entire East Troy community while protecting the lake as well.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. We're going to move on. So we go to the reports from departments. Superintendent Shield.
Everybody get a chance to look over my little report. Any questions?
Todd, on the Beulah Heights culvert, last month, we talked about going ahead and placing the order. Do we have a delivery date from Portage?
I will reach that here in
Okay.
a second.
All right.
Your report is not the February agenda, right?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Stuff that I needed for. Things that we needed to actually talk about with the board itself. Because we did some budget items for February. We get some approval on some new roofing and some insulation.
Okay. I'm good with the report.
All right, we'll move on with what we need to do. We've gotten a couple of quotes for some new roofing and some new insulation that we looked at last year for budget items to help insulate this place and try and save some money on heating because we get horrible ice dams off of here. So we've gotten a couple quotes from James Taylor, Infinity Roofing, and Insurance Roofing. All gave different quality material, workmanship, which that's gonna come from any company and nobody's gonna be the same. Gave had a little synopsis to you. Chairman Jones added a little bit more in writing.
Just to help.
Yep.
On the roofing piece, it gets a little complex. The subtle difference in pricing can be attributed to just quality of material.
Yep.
So I think that's why the information's provided.
Yeah,
So
you'll get that a lot in bids. Somebody's gonna use cheaper material, not as good warranty, not as good quality. The one I would recommend, we've had James Taylor do a lot of the work around our siding. They just did windows. Their quality, as far as I'm concerned, has been great. Great working with them. They're a little bit more, but the quality's a lot better as far as the roofing part aspect of it.
But they really weren't higher because they had double the warranty of the lower bid.
Yeah,
So they are the best value.
the best value for a little bit more money versus the cheaper one.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I noticed all of these proposals are dated in September.
Yep.
Are these prices still good?
Yes, they are.
Did you reach out recently and
I
confirm?
did that last week before I took
That
this.
was, yeah.
Same with, even on the
Insulation, too?
even on the insulation, they're holding their prices. Because they knew it was a budgeted item for this year. So I would just entertain
So we're doing
the
the,
board to see if that's
We're
what
doing
they
the
would like to
roofing
go with.
first?
They're doing-
I think that's what he's
Yep,
proposing.
I think we should do them all at once.
I'll make a motion, well, actually, my husband doesn't work for anymore, but can I make a motion?
If he's no longer working there, I don't believe there's a conflict.
I'll make a motion to accept the James R. Taylor roofing bid at $24,750.
Second.
So, just comment to point out some key things. They have highest quality shingling, and they offer a 15-year warranty. The lowest bid, which is $2,000 difference, is only a 7-year warranty and has the second highest quality shingling. I think when you lay it out in that way, it becomes pretty clear. Also, with the window work they did, they came in and actually did the inside trim for no additional cost. So, just some additional comment colors so that you know why maybe it's being proposed. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So we're going to J.R. Taylor. Now installation?
No insulation, I was kind of, it's another tricky thing, just like when we did the windows. They consider this commercial building, they're trying to get somebody to come in and do it. It's like jumping through hoops, it's no different than doing somebody's house attic. So, all kinds of phone calls, and we only end up with two proposals. Both apples to apples, but the fiberglass material that they're blowing in, the amount that they're blowing in, and the R value that we're gonna get back out of it. But there was a pretty good price gap in there. One person actually came out and looked at it, the other one did it, however, they can figure it off of looking at it on a computer. I don't know how that works, but they measure square foot and look at it.
Was that the higher bid?
Yep.
Yeah. That would make sense.
So, but as far as quality, they're using the both same material, fiberglass, and the same R value. That's one.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. They're both blown in fiberglass, and one made a commitment of 12 inches, the other one confirmed 11 to 14 inches. So the low bid still hits the quality.
Quality and R value.
And R value. So,
I would.
any other questions?
Yeah, are they putting in, like, it says blockers and vents, they putting
Yep, in all the
eaves,
and.
they're running trays up?
Yep, they'll run the W trays up.
So where they run them up and then they blow the insulation of that 12 inches down here as far as they can?
Because being up there a handful of times, it is night and day difference. I mean, it's warm up there compared to what it should be, but there's so much heat leaving.
Yeah, that's not good. You want the snow to stay on the roof.
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we go with Suburban insulation, correct?
Yep.
For 12 inches of blown-in insulation, at the price of $2,920.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous for Suburban. All right.
All right, next is our wonderful Beulah Heights culvert project. It's been almost a year in the making. A lot of hoops to jump through because of the big water being involved with DNR ordinances and time frames and what they want, what we can afford. Our bids went out, we got them back last Thursday. We had one bid come back in that wanted to attempt this project.
How many did we send it to?
3.
I don't know how many Lynch sent it
Lynch
to.
sent it.
Oh, yeah,
It
Lynch
was-
and Associates sent everything. We advertised it, how many people actually looked at it. Dan Meyer from Lynch said he had all kinds of phone calls, so we expected all kinds of bids. But I don't know, due to working over water, I heard, working under power lines and working on such a short time constraint because of the DNR, we can only work at certain times of the year. But we had $425,000 budgeted for this whole project, including material and labor. Last week, we had a meeting last year, we were gonna do a steel culvert, elliptical, bigger than what's there. Went to the DNR with that. They kinda hemmed and hawed and, can we put a concrete structure in, wider, bigger, last longer? We looked into that. The structure alone was $183,000. And then have somebody do it. That's what we bid out, was for the concrete structure. The one company that bid on it came back just to remove and replace the structure at $723,000, not including the structure. So total for the project would have been $906,000 and some change. We're like, we can't do that. We had me and Joe and Dan Meyer, and we sat here with Craig Webster from the DNR going, we can't afford it, even though something has to be done with it. And talking with Craig on the phone, we said we're gonna go back to the original, the elliptical, and we'll rebid it. It's just that
Wasn't there something today from the Towns Association about additional funding?
That wasn't today, but I seen that too. It was the other day, it was $30 million or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
We
Would
can't.
this qualify? I thought it said up to 20 feet.
The actual rating on this is not bad enough. The rating of the
It came
culvert
out.
itself.
How can that not be bad enough?
Yeah, I understand.
It's not. I talked to Joel Kroll from Orworth County also today. With only $30 million being out there for all these projects, they're taking the 0, 1, 2, 3 ratings up to 4 first. This culvert is rated at a 6. Yeah.
order to apply for that,
Yeah.
we have to do an engineering study, right? So, if we decide we could, there's 2 other culverts, we could, we talked about submitting an application, okay, for the grant. We can look at this, but we've already
Started the
invested
process.
time and money and,
Yeah.
right, and so that sort of limits us from being able to apply that to this.
And being the shape that this culvert itself is in, isn't bad enough warranty writing a grant for it.
So, I'm sorry.
It was a thought. I talked to the lady from the state, talked to Joe Kroll from the county today, and they're just like, if it's not bad enough, and the county has 4 of them that they're gonna apply for that are 4 worse, and he's like, he actually said that they're gonna take the most critical ones first, with only $30 million, that's gonna get eaten up real quick.
So this, I was here for the bid opening, and I've been involved in this, been over there with Dan, and we've looked at drawings and been reviewing this all along. And we already had some concerns about how this was meandering around and not being controlled very well. To allow the DNR to head us down this path without doing some due diligence short term and making some decisions that this was never gonna be achievable at the budget we had. There's quite a bit of frustration. We're gonna do a postmortem on this project, and we're gonna establish some best practices for how to run these things. But it's been run a little less than desirable, so I'm.
This-
So
this-
did
hear
we
about this-
already
No.
issue the order?
No, but yes,
We
it was,
did.
but we stopped.
The board approved that
Right.
money for that. That was, we were able to get that canceled. We never even got started on that.
And that same company does the elliptical.
Yep.
Okay, so we're not in trouble financially, except for engineering time that we spent.
Yeah.
But
When
we're
you say
gonna,
elliptical, that's,
They call it a squash culvert. It's elliptical. It's just not round. And they-
back to the culvert.
Back to the
Yes,
culvert.
it's a
Yeah, it's gonna be 21 foot 6'7" wide and 17, 6 or 8 tall.
some things specifically asked of Dan was to look at what's the structure need to be underneath this thing? Do we need to go to a full concrete structure? We've also, we're looking at how long this thing really needs to be, so we're gonna tighten up on him to see
Yeah.
how we get this done
Yeah.
properly, and then we can go out for bid.
And
I
then-
thought that's why we were getting away from the elliptical, because they did want the concrete underneath, and we're like, well, if you're gonna do that, then they wanted to put the span structure over it.
Yeah, it was just, that's kind of what the DNR wanted for longevity, but monetarily it's just not feasible. And the culvert that's in there now lasted 78 years.
Right, okay.
So, I mean, yeah, down the road, sooner or later might have to get replaced again, but to get this done now, because the edges of the road on the one side are falling off. And it's time constraint. I mean, we started this as an emergency last March, and now we're almost a year later. And the amount of construction is gonna be way less than what they gotta do to put the concrete in. Because this we can do with footings and gravel on the bottom versus, that one needed like a 2-foot thick by huge concrete pad underneath with a 6 foot of stone underneath. It was just,
It's like $200,000 of concrete, right?
Oh, I think I misunderstood then. I thought they were mandating us to do that before, and that's why we were switching.
that's what they wanted us to do, and there's no feasible way that we can do it.
So now they're gonna allow us to go back?
Yep,
Yes, we've had him on the phone.
yep,
Yes,
Todd, is this gonna change the waterway application or anything I'm doing with our resolution?
so we're supposed to have some
You said
design, yes, what?
You said it's not.
You shook your head no, I
it
can move,
shouldn't,
okay.
because that was just for
Timing-wise?
closure of the waterway. It's still, Dan's hoping to get everything done here within the next week, get it out to bid, and still achieve a start date of April 1st.
That's, and the objective is to get it in before the end of May.
Well, we still have to have a public hearing
Yep.
too, which I was proposing for prior to the next board meeting.
Correct.
And it should be able to be achieved.
Okay.
This, I mean,
We're pushing on Dan to
yeah,
get this week.
we're
actually.
leaning on the engineering hard, because this has been,
I think Dan should
Pushed
have
on.
came in and talked to us.
this has been pushed down the road.
Well, the DNR
I mean,
said
it's
they
12 months.
will expedite our ordinance as soon as they get the draft.
Aren't we paying this guy enough money to have him come visit us?
I
He did,
understand.
he did, yeah. So when we have the public hearing, he will most definitely be here, because he can answer way more questions than what I can answer, and Chairman Jones.
If you need help getting them in here, Todd,
Oh,
I'll help you.
he's good at coming in.
And
So what is he gonna do now? He's
We're going-
redoing the bid.
Yep, we're going back to that original one that we had proposed when we had the first public hearing on it with that elliptical.
yeah.
So remember,
So
we
the
did.
plans and all that
So
are
the
pretty much
DNR is
done.
really the problem.
Yes,
But we allowed him
to get this done.
problem, in my opinion. I think we could have been a little more smart about testing what he wanted and saying, we're not gonna be able to afford this. And
Yes,
so I'm a little frustrated with how this has meandered around a little bit.
Yeah, but we were also told by Lynch that it wasn't gonna be that much more.
Right.
yeah,
I
concrete,
mean, we
Yeah,
thought
he
we were
said
talking
75,000
about, yeah,
more
to go
concrete.
to a
Right.
bridge and.
we weren't even close.
Right.
So
It's gonna still be bigger, better than what's originally.
we challenged them though, we're going back to the elliptical, but look at the structures that are required, make sure this is simple, cost-effective, and we're expecting to hear back by the end of this week.
Yes.
That's what he said he would be back to us,
Yep.
so.
And
Hopefully,
then the
we-
proposal, they have how long to respond?
We'll get the bid out and we'll just shorten the time span on that.
we have to do an announcement though in a paper, I think, on it,
Yep.
right? So what is that, two weeks?
Two
Two
inserts.
inserts,
Two inserts.
2
Two
weeks.
inserts.
Which we got a couple weeks, so, like, we're pushing them hard to get this done so we can have it, a meeting in March.
In March.
And that's all I have on that project. And lastly, is a bucket truck that we share with the town of Troy and the village of East Troy. That's just been, over the last couple of years, a money pit to all municipalities. We have put more into repair on this thing than what we paid for it. Recently, we just had to put $3,000 in a order on the split between the three municipalities. Now it's up for its annual inspection. Seems like every time it goes and gets inspected, it's somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000. This year it's 5,100 again. So I bringing it to the board's attention that the village gets, just like the fire ladder truck, uses it the most. For us, this was something before I took over that was, I don't think it's as much practical for us, what we do for tree work, as it does for the village for Christmas lights and lighting.
So I did get an update from Jerry Artson, right, earlier. He's got a meeting tonight too, and he was planning to explain this and put, hopefully we put a motion to move forward with this, but let me tell you where he's heard. Apparently Jason left our public meeting.
We had a Tri-Troy meeting,
Tri-Troy
right,
meeting.
and talked about this.
He left that meeting thinking we authorized the $5,000, okay? And it's not that bad if you let me finish, but, so he went ahead with the repairs, so we're moving forward with that. Right now, if they went out and looked at what we could sell that truck for, we can get 10 grand for it if we don't fix it. We can probably get 25 to 30 grand, 15 to 30 grand if we fix it. So the point being, it's like gonna be, what, 2 weeks or 2 months?
Yeah, it's 2 months for some welding and some
To
miscellaneous
repair.
stuff to get repaired.
So what the point is if the repair is sort of in process as it is, that means we've got 15 grand in the part, in the truck.
5,100, yeah.
5 each?
Well, plus.
No, it's split 3 ways.
5 total.
So yeah, it's like
So that's-
1,700 and some changes.
There's a contract between the three municipalities that we all share and use this. So the point would be that if we can get 10 grand with it not fixed, we add 5 grand to it, that makes it worth 15 to us. If we can get 25 for that, we're ahead.
Yep.
And then it's split We're looking at selling, we're not looking at,
What
like,
year is the truck?
2007.
So, are you?
What we're looking to do is fix it, not use it, sell it, auction it, and put that money towards something newer, something that is better suited for.
did you do any looking into the Versalift? Can we even get close to it at 25?
Yes, we can,
We can.
for a used one, yeah, we're actually going to McClanago tomorrow to look at some and demo some.
So the reality is we could sell this by a device that's gonna do a better job for us and not invest any money.
Yeah, I looked at it, the 1,700 we gotta put into it, we can rent one for a week for cheaper, because the amount that we use it, it's maybe a week at the most if you combine all the days of the year that we use it. If we can get everything together for a week, we can rent one for 1,300. So it's, we're wasting money fixing this every year.
So my understanding when we walked away from the Troy meeting was that, yes, we were gonna look into the cost to fix it and if it would how it impacted the price to sell, right? The other concern that was mentioned was because we're a municipality, it has to be certified whenever they do anything on it. And we were hoping that maybe if we sell it to someone that trims trees or something independently, they wouldn't have to have that certification and they'd be willing to pay a little more for it.
But I'm thinking even independent contractors, just to get insurance on that, if it's not certified, I don't think anybody would insure it, so I mean, well, you should get a little bit more money on it fixed versus selling it as it.
Mhm. So that was kind of like the next step, was the 3 DPWs were supposed to talk and figure out
Yes,
if it
they
made
were.
sense
Yep.
to fix it or not. I guess from talking to Todd, it sounds to me like we don't need to participate in the new item that we're gonna purchase. We can rent whatever we need instead.
It's possible, we're looking at it, myself, Jason, and Nick from Town of Troy, to see if there's something that's usable for us, or we're just gonna do everything on our own and rent something for a week, or run it for a month between all 3 municipalities for a discounted price. But it's just the amount of money that has been stuck into this year after year after year, it's just.
So I would suggest we don't approve buying something new, right, at this point.
Send notice for that,
Right, so, but we could motion to approve the repair and sell it for more than 15
That's
grand.
not notice
No,
either.
it's not
So you can't
noticed.
do that at this time?
It's just an update.
We
All right.
could move on to the next
Yeah,
item.
so just an
though.
update on what's going on with it, and
Okay.
then, once it's fixed, it will be on next month's to get out of the agreement with it, with the 3 townships, or 2 townships in the village.
Okay,
Thanks, Todd.
thank you.
Shoot, that's a great
So, we have the court statistics report. Did you want to offer any comment, or?
Only if there are questions.
I do have a question. If I'm understanding that right, it's from the judge. It says the attached report is a breakdown written by each officer, but it's in aggregate, right? I was misunderstanding that, then I thought there was gonna be another report by officer.
A secondary report that was in your specific, or
Packet.
just the board, that does not go in the town
I
packet.
didn't have it either.
I didn't
I didn't.
It's,
I don't have it.
it's this report, you know.
We didn't get that.
I asked this morning, so, okay, so we.
I will make sure we get copies to all of you, I'll email it out.
Okay. Or I missed it, okay.
I don't need it myself.
Okay,
So,
that's my other question.
any other questions on,
I like this if we can see it in the future and we can see trends, because some months are higher than others.
if you remember, I tried back in May to try and get something started here. It sounds like Clerk Olson and Judge Heidelmeyer got together and put this together, so that's good. I think it'll be beneficial going forward. So, without, we have Chief Gorecki.
If you guys are able to figure out trends from court records, you will make billions of dollars for the town of East Troy. Because there is no rhyme or reason to when people violate or don't violate traffic laws.
Or you happen to be in the right place at the right time.
So, congratulations, if you figure it out, let me know. Otherwise, good luck. Been doing it for 30 years and I still haven't figured it out. Got a copy of all the numbers for the month?
Yep.
All right. And then the other item was the kiosk.
Yeah, I didn't have anything for the report itself. Anybody else? No. Okay. Do you want to move on to the kiosk?
Kiosk was budgeted in the fall. And talking with the company, there's some paperwork to complete. They want to know how it's going to be delivered, have questions like, do we have a forklift, those types of things. And they also want half up front, which is kind of what I sent along with that invoice for the $8,000. So they do things through a purchase order or pay half, delivery is made, pay the second half. So as long as you want to move forward with doing the kiosk, as far as setting the pad, believe Todd and I have talked, and we have the schematics for what is required. We also have the lower bid for the electric power, getting it power, and we can move forward there. So.
And just to reiterate, benefits of getting this in. I know you made comments about we'll probably get more payments.
Well, the benefit is you can pay with your credit card.
Right.
And it will accept cash, but it will not provide change. So that is, basically, we're gonna keep the same system we currently have. We'll take cash, but you're not gonna get change out of the machine, just like you don't get change out of the door.
Right.
But we're also gonna allow people to use their credit cards, which, again, I think lends itself commercially. I know last year, talking with the boathouse, they send their guys out with credit cards. So the boathouse, instead of me getting them angry, writing them a $600 ticket, will just be able to pay their fees as they come or purchase their season pass as a corporation for each vehicle. So it makes it a little easier, and most of the boating companies are now doing that, giving the guys credit cards to do their stuff with.
And you saw this one at Delavan, right? Isn't this the one?
This is, they have one in Lynn Township.
Lynn, okay, sorry.
And this is also the company the state of Wisconsin uses for their kiosks at the different DNR parks.
Does this get shut off in the winter then? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, you can power it off in the winter when it's out of season.
And then we're still gonna have people manning.
Yeah, there'll still be people there to go do the other things but not necessarily, we don't need to worry about them collecting any money. That can be done through the kiosk.
They can be handing out educational pamphlets.
Correct.
And if someone misses a
making
shift,
sure they don't
you don't have to
get all
drive.
backed up at the launch.
And you will be responsible for that staffing anyway, right? With
Yes.
the CSOs that we
Correct.
put in place with the enforcement, so.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm assuming the SaaS subscription fee is gonna be annual, then we'll have to budget like $1,000 a year.
Correct. And I'm gonna, in here, I gotta talk to our FirstNet, because it looks like we can provide our own cell service. So, I'd like that to be on our cell service as long as, we can do that. And, talked with Brandon earlier this week at the Chiefs Conference, and he wants to come down to the PD and talk, so we can discuss that. But that would also then bring that under our umbrella, and not outsourcing that service.
And Todd, the spare parts, you would just keep here and
Yep.
your guys will be trained on how to replace those things?
Looking at some of their service, when we're reviewing all this, it looks pretty simple, plug and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that it's like keypads and
Yeah.
controllers, batteries.
And realistically, the biggest thing that I didn't want to make a decision on, I want you guys to make the decision is, what do you want the front wrap to be? And what do you want the season passes to be and logo to have? You want them just plain white paper? I mean, we can do that, but it's an opportunity for you guys to put the town logo on it or do whatever.
And we're getting thousands of them.
Go with that.
So the other thing that I noticed, and we talked about, was this is effectively ready to ship. It's not a 20-week delivery.
No.
So- So it would be brought in, we would do this, we have a couple months to get this in place before the boating season at this point.
What do we budget for that?
20.
20,000?
Yeah. So this is.
So $353 more than that?
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly, we had this quote when we did the budget.
Oh, we did.
I know we budgeted the 20, and I believe we added the approximate cost of running the electric from, was it Foremost? So, I know we added to it because we had to have the electricity.
One-year warranty too, I noticed. How long do these things last, you know? You get a feeling how long Lynn's is?
Well, Lynn's had theirs for a couple, 3 years.
Still in good shape?
Yeah, and like I said, that, not that I would think that DNR is throwing away money, but if they're using this company,
Right.
I'm assuming that they've had good luck.
Don't we have 2 years on the warranty? Quantity of 2, it says. So I don't know if that's, if we're only getting 1 unit.
Correct, 1 unit.
It's got a quantity of 2. I'm assuming that's 2 years, or is that new clarification?
Everybody, this is the new supervisor.
I believe that's extending the 1 year, so you're correct. You get the first year, and then you're
buying another one.
You're buying the second
2 year.
You're including this year 2.
Okay.
The way I read it, what you're.
Right, I'm just trying to make sure.
Yeah.
There is an extra $1,400.
Right.
So this is the goal, right? For everything?
Yes.
Am I looking at that right?
That is correct. The spares, the subscription for the year and everything.
And then do I recall, like, if you pay for the day, it'll print a receipt that you put on your dash?
Yep, yeah, if you kind of look in your packet there, you'll see what the passes are gonna look like. And those not only are the season passes, but that's also the, kind of the receipt that they're gonna print out.
Oh.
That'll go on the dash.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But the cards for the annual pass,
Yep, you'll swipe them, like the credit card once you pay for it.
oh, you have to swipe it to make.
Where do you
so
get
that
that
they couldn't
card?
say last year's and not
Correct.
renew it. That's
Correct.
okay.
And that's issued through here or down there?
Issued right at the kiosk.
And the kiosk pumps it out?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Or loaded in there.
That's cool.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I had it all figured out and now you guys
Sorry.
threw me off.
Interrupted.
All right, I'll make a motion that we go with, for the boat launch kiosk, go with Ventec International. The quote for $20,353.25 to be installed
at the Town of East Troy boat launch.
I'll second.
Any additional discussion
Is that enough in there, Attorney Mills?
Yes.
on the motion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll order a kiosk, so that happened through you or through you?
I'll start working on it tomorrow.
All right, then we have planning commission.
There were two, requests at the January meeting, and both passed the planning commission unanimously. Therefore, on the first of the Hippus Trust, W2159 Beulah Heights Road, I would make a motion, in line with the planning commission, that we approve the land separation CSM review at the W2159 Beulah Heights Road, PET 1800001, as presented.
Okay, I'll second it. Any discussion?
It's a separation, everything was in conformance, with the requirements as far as the square footage and the footage, and, they're both residential lots.
It's incidentally, this separation, the front piece, the property is actually gonna be used for this Beulah Heights bypass road for, while we're sitting there, working on it. Anyway, and all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes.
Secondly was the Honey Creek Trust at the Schaefer property on N7480 Bell School Road. We had a little preview of this in 2025 as they had to submit the request to modify the 2050 plan. And so this is in alignment with that they are rezoning. The zoning actually changed, like, right where the house is, and so we had to move that a little bit. And they are doing family trust planning, as Mr. Schaefer's aging, so I would make a motion to approve the rezone request at N7480 Bell School Road, parcel number PET 3600003, as requested on January 21st at the Planning Commission.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Motion passes. So we are into section 10, unfinished business. We have now, I can't even remember when we got started, it was last summer. We started doing a handbook, and we have now gone through an attorney to do an initial review, and now it has been in front of all the employees. Clerk Olson gathered everybody's input, and so that's what's online that all of you would have been able to look at. I've been through it again. What the ask from my request here is to be able to submit this back to that attorney, have him go through any of the changes and issues that we put in. One thing that is important to me is that there are some additional benefits over what was in the contracts, but we need to make sure we understand them as it comes back in a final state from the attorney. So
I'll make a motion that we authorize Chairman Jones to send the employee handbook to the employment attorney for final review and comment.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Thank you for your fresh set of eyes, Supervisor Johnson, and your feedback. That's helpful.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so motion passes. I will get that off to him, and hopefully we can get that back relatively quickly. I think our objective was to try and do this in March, so that's what I'm going to try and work towards. The next item on the list is the Ellers proposal that came in. So where we found ourselves after the last budget cycle was concerned with some shortfalls in revenue and some overspending. In discussion with PAA did a report and they made some suggestions about financial advisors. So with all of that being said, I don't know that the board or future board should be expected to have all the expertise to pull this together. And I don't think the town really has that expertise. So my objective was to go out and get some bids from people to see if we can get some of that expertise, okay? What you'll find, I went out to 2 people. Baird responded to me on the day 1/28, the day it was due. I honestly could not believe it. I sent a note back to them. It was very frustrating. They suggested that they were going to do it. We even went through a level where there was a date they had to accept the bid, and they were going to provide a proposal, and then they waited.
They accepted it. Yeah.
And they accepted it.
And so they
So-
intend to bid.
I won't belabor it all. It just was, this was a little frustrating because I was hoping to have some level of comparison. What I like about the Ellers proposal, it's in the packet, you should be able to review it. I'm going to hit a few highlights. They are primarily a municipal support company. That is what they do. They're not an investment company that now provides municipal support. So these guys have been doing this for quite some time. All the resources they have will be inside. There's no contractors that they go out for. They have been working with Joe DeGaro at ETA, ESD, and the Village of East Troy. So there's some synergy there. They've also looked at the town of Troy Center.
Troy.
So they know a lot about what's going on and what's impacting us. I think we can benefit from that. So I found that highly beneficial. What they have done in here on page 15 and 16. So besides the references, they talk about doing a 5-year plan. And they talk about long-term operational budget, capital improvement plan with a funding strategy developed through facilitated discussions with staff and town board. The intent is to look at this long-term. There's a couple of meetings with staff, a couple of meetings with board. They will be pulling this all together in here. They're going to look at projected cash flows. They talked about here the general fund, debit service fund, and landfill. I added capital. I still want my capital 400 fund. So I don't want to get too much into this, but I look at the pricing on page 19, and $6,500 as a base fee to provide those services seems extremely reasonable, especially considering we had Ellers in here, not Ellers, we had Baker Tilly in here for one budget meeting, and it was $2,500. So we're getting 4 meetings, and it's less than what that would cost us. I don't think we look at item 2 or 3. I think we look at the 5-year plan first to just see where we are. And my objective here would be if they can get familiar with this, they can offer some suggestions in advance of us in the summer trying to start looking at our budgets. I think we're going to have a better chance of putting together a good budget in the fall. So I don't even know how I noticed this. So again, discussion and possible action. This is not budgeted, but we did not move forward with the administrator. So there is $20,000 in that area that can be spent partially on this. My suggestion is that we try and do something here, because I really don't know how we get a handle on all of this unless we have some professional help in municipalities. So any thoughts or discussions?
I was surprised at the 6,500 as well. I thought that was pretty reasonable.
Yeah, and like was said, since it's not an equipment but a services, it's not, doesn't require that we have to do all this competitive bidding.
That's 2 board meetings for the 6,500 base, and then $250 an hour.
No, it includes 2.
For budgeting, process review, and recommendations.
Yeah, it says in, what?
On page 19.
Right, but the FMP, they meet with the staff twice and the board twice.
Okay.
And
So-
then they do the baseline model.
Part of my mission would be to, I didn't want to go back and spend a lot of their time if there's no interest by the board. So if there's interest, we can allow me to just go back and try and nail this down a little bit more.
I think their deliverables are pretty clear, an annual projected budget numbers for 5 years, inclusion of all capital improvements identified by the town, so we'll have to put some work into that too. The facilitated board discussions and help identify new revenues and funding sources. The presentation materials for the town board and a report outlining the recommended action.
Right, it's pretty detailed. And generally, I got very good feedback on, and this may not be an ongoing scope that they have. If they're doing, like if we were to use them again in '27, I think they're gonna be tweaking this, and I don't know that the scope would be as large in dollars either at that point. I have not pursued that with them, but just to have some professional insight on this and maybe suggestions on where we can trim some cost, I think it's important. So,
I guess I didn't anticipate it to be multiple, ongoing. I think it's a good baseline for us right now.
no,
It's what we need.
I agree. I'm just saying, if in the future, since the expertise may not exist
They have
here
experience.
and may not exist in the town, employees that they could tap these people and they would be knowledgeable about what we're doing. So. I would like to at least be authorized to talk with them and try and nail down what this is. And then I can bring it back, or however you would like to proceed.
Well, I can make a motion that we allow Chairman Jones to further discuss the Ayler's proposal and bring back more information to the board in the March enough time?
Yeah.
The March town board meeting?
I think it can be, yep.
I'll second.
Okay, very good. Any other comments or? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I will do my best to get that back as quick as possible. So now we're into the wake boat discussion here. What I wanted to do, the purpose for going through all the summaries, and we've had the police department helping me understand more of what this looks like on a statewide basis. Talked with Attorney Mills about this. The DNR, the fact that the DNR isn't approving ordinances. They are validating that an ordinance does not violate statute. That's what they're doing. And a lot of times people say the DNR approved it. Well, they'll probably, if you're calling that approval, they probably will approve 30 of them, different ones. So just understand where the authority and everything lies. A lot of the reason here is this, I think the authority lies at this board. That's the main thrust behind my memo and what I put together. I think we have before us 3 options that are here. I heard today that Assembly Bill 1033, apparently overnight, they added 300 feet from shore. There is no depth in it. It did pass 6-2, 6-3. So it's moving to the assembly floor where it goes, and then I think it has to go to the Senate. Then it has to go to Evers, does it not? I mean, that's how this stuff typically.
It's not going to be a short process.
Right. So it's just an update. That's where we are with this. We have 2 proposals that have been brought in that are presented here. Supervisor Church provided a summary, as well as I attached the memo and ordinance. I think it was a total of 6 pages that's attached in here from Chairman Bergen. And then there are 5 pages in here from BRD, responsible boards.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
I had received questions from Supervisor Church that I indicated that I would address during this section of the meeting. So I'd like to read those questions and then give my response. On the wake surfing discussion, she asks, do we want an ordinance that allows wake surfing in zones? Can we proceed with such an ordinance before the town of Scott is decided? I'll read her second question and I'll give you my responses. The second was, should we be more focused on preventing a lawsuit, or can we write an ordinance that can be defended because it protects the health, safety, and welfare of the lake and its residents, guests, and users of the lake today and in the future? And I think there was some confusion regarding what my recommendation to the board was. That first came after the annual meeting last year, where the vote was for a ban. The lawsuits that were filed addressed a sample wake boat ordinance that called for a ban. So my position was, if you're ever going to try to propose a ban ordinance here, I'm going to tell you no, you will be sued, because that's what was happening. So I told Barb that as town attorney, knowing that there are pending lawsuits, including a suit filed in December of 2025 that also named town board members as defendants, that's in Sheboygan County, my job as town attorney is to try to avoid the town board from being sued. Having said that, it is possible for the town to move forward, if it chooses, with regulations and not outright bans, which may decrease the chances of a lawsuit being filed. My opinion only advises the board on legal matters, not whether one proposal outweighs the other. Second, she asked if it's a good thing to prevent a lawsuit, or can you write an ordinance? And basically I said that's a town board decision. If it chooses to move forward, it can. That's not really my call. My job was to give you, if you will, a legal update. Along with that, I did get a call and a letter that should be in the packet too from attorney Krista Westerberg. She has a client in the town, and I know she presented at a prior meeting. Now, her recommendation is for a ban, and I told her that's not going to happen. At least I can't recommend that. She too spoke of the litigation and brought up the fact that a lot of the matters were only notices of claim. No actual lawsuits have ever been filed. She said based upon what was on the agenda with the 3 options, she would rather have us do something rather than nothing. She did not like the 300 foot. She called it ridiculous. And, you know, suggested maybe the town consider the 500 foot. I told her that,
Where is this letter? I'm sorry.
It was an email.
It was an email.
I don't, it
it wasn't in the packet.
Who is this, who are we talking about?
The attorney that got up during the 18th October.
Oh, that, okay.
Um,
What the hell that letter?
I told her that I can advise the board as to what can or can't happen, depending on how they choose to act. I told her that my view has softened a bit, just because I know since last summer, we're no longer talking about a ban ordinance, and you had asked for some sort of consensus. I agree, the possibility of a lawsuit is always out there. I think that the filing in December 2025 that named board members was intended to have a chilling effect on municipalities. But I have to assume that was another ban ordinance, because I do believe that some regulation can be done by a town board.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can we tie the management district to the town? If we were to make an ordinance that any litigation that was brought to the town, they would be tied in with it?
No.
Because they're basically suggesting us
No.
no, there's no way that someone can stand by us through any kind of litigation.
No, the management district would not be the ones that would be, you know, questioned about why the ordinance was passed. You guys would.
Understood, I'm asking if there was a way to tie them in with us.
No.
There isn't.
No.
So they're
You have
asking
to
us to
vote-
do something that we're standing on our own here.
Correct. Correct. And backed by science. So if you're going to do any sort of ordinance, I would, at a
We're talking
minimum,
up here, please keep it down.
at a minimum, you have to include the verbiage about safety, health, protection of the natural resources. I would mention the Minnesota study. I would mention the lake-specific study for Lake Beulah. Or you can wait and try to get some guidance, but what are you going to do with Army Lake and Potter's Lake? This seems to be Lake Beulah specific. I mean, I'd rather have a town ordinance that encompasses all lakes. And you are correct, the Assembly bill does not reference water depth at all. That would be helpful to have a town-wide ordinance on this issue.
The belief is depth is not enforceable. You'd have to have buoys there that you can't, I mean, oh, he left, sorry. Yeah. That's the contention, that's why a lot of the depth
You're
stuff-
almost gonna have to have buoys anyway to mark the areas that they want you to restrict the wake boats to.
That was my.
Because how would you know how far out 300 or 500 feet is?
Right. Which they said, which
Without 'em.
I'm hearing they can't, they really can't patrol that anyways, right? Because it's too hard to.
Well, you can't have a buoy every 2 feet to know if
Correct,
somebody's in or
right,
out.
right.
So
So
it's
any
going to
kind of-
have to be a flagrant violation in my discussions before something would be cited. And in looking at all across the state, the best I could come up with was 4 ordinances that took place on page 2 of 4 in my memo throughout the state that restricted something less than a ban. And out of all of them, and talking with the police agency that is governing enforcement in each of those areas, they have chosen not to do anything. They're not going to enforce the municipal law. So.
Is that what happened, or were there no violations?
No, I asked to have
Okay.
somebody talk to the actual police, and we got some direct feedback that said we're not going near that, like the sheriffs or the rec group, and so that's what I was told. So,
Well, also as part of Barb's memo that is in the packet, I don't know if this reads like a motion she wants made today. No, I probably just misplaced it.
yes.
Her memo
Oh,
I read, I didn't.
tonight.
I didn't feel like it was, but maybe I read it.
Tonight, the town board should authorize Attorney Mills to prepare a wake-enhanced surfing zone ordinance for approval in March of 2026.
That was her timeline, yeah. But when?
At the
At
bottom.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I can't make that a motion. I don't know if one of you would want to.
I have questions too. I didn't bring my list. This talks about bow up and all the subjective things that all the lawsuits are focusing in on. So I think it has to be more of and fishing boats are bow up when they light up a big 200 horse motor. So if you're not going to address all boats, I'm just questioning how we can focus on this boat.
Or all lakes.
Or all lakes, yeah. And I haven't heard anything from Army or Potters, and I just haven't had time to
I'm
reach out.
assuming, I shouldn't assume, they're smaller, not as deep.
They are, but
Yeah, but Potters doesn't want anything to do with it.
They probably want a ban.
No, they want nothing to do with it.
they're all living
All from what
together.
I've heard.
We got three wake boats, and there's no issue there. Army, I haven't heard from, but when I have talked with Chairman Kathy, your wife.
My wife, yeah.
Anyway, Schultz, yeah, thank you. When I have spoken with her, the interest is, there just isn't an overwhelming interest to pursue this at all on that lake. So, and I didn't, since this was Beulah specific, I did not reach out ahead of this to even test that. So I think it would be premature to discuss Potter at this point.
So if the proposal is for zones, does that, I'm just gonna ask the chief how he would, does that mean we're gonna have buoys at the 200 feet and at the zones? What's that
That's
gonna leave
kinda
for
what-
500 feet from,
Well, no, Sloan Awake is 200 feet.
Right. That's correct.
And then also more buoys at the zones. And how is that navigable?
Which I think are proposed at 300 and 500.
The two proposals are 3 and 5. The BRB group is working on a software package that will load the zone that's agreeable into GPS, which is a free downloadable app onto everybody's GPS systems, so they can actually see the zone without a buoy. It goes green, yellow, red, from what I understand. I don't know the details behind that.
How would people that aren't from here?
They would pull probably a QR code off the dock and download it, is how I would think they would do it. The one thing that's common between the two proposals is Mill Lake is proposed to not have wake surfing on it. So that's the common denominator between both.
I would argue that it's not true to say that the board isn't doing anything or hasn't done anything. And with the ordinance, the proposed ordinance from the Lake Beulah Management District expiring in September 2026, what data are we gonna gather? What testing are we gonna do to show it was effective or not? And then start all over again with another ordinance?
Well, with the ordinances that have been passed, and with increased patrol,
Right.
how would you know if it's the ordinance or the increased police presence?
Right.
So I don't understand the idea of a temporary ordinance and then going through all of this again.
To answer,
And to say that we're not doing anything, we are doing something. We're getting the buoys put in this year. BRB is doing education. We're increasing the law enforcement. And should we be evaluating those actions so we can determine an ordinance one time instead of multiple times?
And DNR will have to give advisory approval.
in Barb's thing is buoys.
In the zones?
Yeah,
And,
at the 500.
and at the slow no wait.
Yes.
Well, it's adding the buoys at the 500, so the buoys are already supposed to be at the 200,
Right,
which they're not. They were supposed to be last year, they were never put out.
right.
Why?
So, because, well, I'm not really sure on that. We said
think
they
it
should
was-
be.
Permitting?
Part of the concerns with all this is
Well,
if we can just get.
I'd like to just say a couple things that I have a problem with in all of this. One of the people in public comments brought this up, and that's my biggest thing, is litigation to the town board and the rest of the town citizens. There are 4,200 people in this town, and they are gonna pay the bill on whatever happens here, not just the people that live on the lake. And so, we did a decision a year ago, or a little over a year ago, and we were litigated immediately, and we did everything legally, and it passed at the county. And someone from the lake litigated this town. So, it is scary to sit up here, because I get phone calls all the time from other people that they've never dipped a toe in Lake Beulah. And they're like, what is all you guys talk about is this? This is all you talk about. So it is frustrating, and to sit here and have people say that we don't do anything, the amount of time and hours on hours of dealing with this, going to meetings. We were all at the meetings, we all watched the meetings, we all researched on our own. You have to understand, this is very hard for us up here, especially when it's not fair to the other people that don't live on lake and can't get to the lake, you know? So it is frustrating to hear everybody say that we're not doing anything. I agree with Supervisor Reyes. I think we have done a lot over the last year. I think from the time that this got started, if we would have done what was wanted, we would have really been in some trouble here, as a town.
I agree.
But that is my opinion, and I just wanted to get it out there, because it's frustrating to sit up here and have people tell you that you're not doing anything when you're taking the time away from your family and the time away from your job and everything else. And things are changing.
things are getting done in this town. And it's also taking a lot of time from other things that are going on in this town that we have to worry about, so.
Well, that litigation
That's-
is still
that's-
pending.
Yes, I understand
You
that,
know,
and it happened immediately, and it was, we
On-
did everything legally.
On the matter of the last agenda item, budgeting is an issue too. You know, so if we're already defending one lawsuit,
Right.
you certainly don't have the budget to pay to defend another one if it were filed. I do agree, people can try to file a lawsuit for anything.
Correct.
And, you know, there are certainly frivolous lawsuits that are filed. And I'm not asking that you use that as a justification to maybe do nothing, but it is a consideration for you.
Well, and that is why I asked, is there a way to, if we agree with one or the other, that, you know, we're joined at the hip, so to speak, but.
Not really, no.
We're on our own.
Well, that's where I'm coming from.
I mean, you can take no action, I suppose, and table it to next month. I'm not sure if Supervisor Church would want to add to the conversation before the board as a whole even makes the decision.
I wish she was, yeah, I would like her input too.
I mean, I think she wants to have some skin in the game.
Well, I'll make a motion that we table it to the March meeting, for more discussion by the town board.
I'll second.
So it just continues. It's just consuming so much time.
But we're just tabling what's here.
I know.
So we don't have to add anything
We're
more.
gonna do it all over again in March. So. All the same, public comments, everything's gonna happen again. Because we're pushing it to March.
Well, I made a motion, we can deny the motion if you want and go back after it here, I mean.
Okay, well, we've
There
got.
was no vote, it was
Right.
seconded.
This is
Still a
second,
vote,
right?
you know.
So, any other discussion? So, should we do a roll call vote, or how should we handle this?
It's up to you. There's only 4 of you tonight.
I don't care, whatever, however you want to do it.
Where are you at, Brian? We're gonna put you on the spot.
Put me on the spot, all right. Since this is the first time I've been through from this side.
Yeah.
You understand what we're voting on?
Yes, correct. Tabling it till next month.
Correct.
I would be okay with that. So, A.
Aye. Aye.
Was that your vote, or are you in the middle of thought?
I should be in the middle, I thought. I'm voting aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0.
Yeah.
They table till next month. Okay. Clerk Olson?
I had.
Oh,
Chris,
yeah.
those one.
Yeah,
right
this is
there.
it, right?
Yep, you do.
No.
I got it in the email. So,
Okay.
Clerk Olson, did you want to talk about the
Public
AV?
relations.
We
Okay,
had,
so let me-
several vendors
Excuse
come
me.
out
Just in the hall.
to discuss the AV equipment and give bids. I was kind of given bad information. It does turn out that I didn't need to get several bids because it's equipment, it's not a building improvement.
Excuse me.
Oh, okay. Todd.
Sorry, I can't
We
hear
need
you,
to,
John.
Todd.
Outside.
we're still
I'm
having
trying
a
to
meeting.
listen.
Come on.
We got another 3 hours, you should stay with us.
Oh, no.
I'm hoping it's quick.
I'm breezing through my report.
Okay.
So in 2025, we met with several vendors. We didn't in fact need to go to them, but it was good to see where everyone was coming from and kind of get their ideas. Everybody had a similar approach, but with different equipment. My recommendation at this point, because of our budget shortfall, is to try to cut this in half and do it in 2 phases. So I would like to address the sound issue in 2026, which would be phase 1 of the equipment, and then would use our existing video. And then for 2027, budget the other half, which would be 25,364 to then incorporate the video and a screen that doesn't have the glare.
And there's,
Oh, that's the issue.
The glare is definitely an issue, so if we have a non-glare television, it will show up on the feed.
so we have $50,000 in the budget. This is capital, it's not operational, so it's a borrowing thing. We are being asked to be able to do Zoom call-ins. We're being asked to have reliable AV. I honestly, and what we've spent is probably this much in pieces that we pulled together over time, and we know how that works. It's not very effective. So I appreciate the initiative to at least go out and see what we could do to minimize the impact for this year while still making the overall objective. I did want to recognize that, thank you. After talking with Clerk Olson, this is going to be an iPad-driven system, effectively. There'll be buttons that you will push to say everything's on, and that's going to be for only audio at this time.
It'll be a turnkey operation, so then you'll just touch the touchpad and it will start the audio, which is similar to what we're doing right now, being separate. But once we incorporate the second phase, it will all be run off of that iPad and the...
Right, so the control system we're getting right up front in this with the iPad. So it's going to be the same interface. It just will tie in some new speakers, some new camera technology maybe, and that's
And then
it.
hopefully that glare resistant screen.
So the microphones will be the push to talk like at the village.
Correct. And they'll be gooseneck. They're gonna be wired because it is cheaper, but we don't move them anyway. And I have seen challenges with their non-wired microphones at their meetings, so I think we're better off, honestly.
So,
Go ahead.
so with this going remote, or, some people needing remote, or do we just do all of it? Is that what you're suggesting? What do you think?
No, I was letting her present this answer. So this is half this year, and then she would propose the second half for the video next year. And it's from the same firm, and it's all integratable to what we're getting this year.
But we already budgeted the 50,
We did.
and you're splitting it in half?
She was able to reuse the box and do some things because we're already working with them. So, and she's local, she grew up local to East Troy, it's a family-owned business, so when she gives us
Well,
her,
Brennan, to knock it down a little bit.
she did, actually.
Will we be able to accommodate the remote access?
We would use the second computer and do that through the screen. So, I mean, it would be the same as what we're doing now for that. It would just be an
But the
HDMI.
sound,
But that's
Would
not
go through the
every
TV.
meeting, right?
the sound is echoing, and it's
Right.
just, it doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't always work,
Right.
frankly.
Go ahead.
would we be able to do a portion of the video piece as far as the non-glare? Because we are in discussions about remote access to meetings, and the non-glare would facilitate that. Could that be implemented without a major overhaul of that, just that piece of equipment, maybe
It's a
piece of the
purchase
discussion?
of another television, and then those are obviously more expensive than the one that we purchased.
Right, but if we're
or
doing it in, if
donated.
we're budgeted and we're doing it in 2027, could we do just at least that piece of the puzzle along with the sound in 2026 to accommodate some of the goals that we have with potentially having remote access to meetings?
Joe, I was gonna say, in my experience, when I've had to view it online, I've had no issues with the sound, but I had a completely white screen and couldn't see anything that was being talked about or discussed.
I get a lot of complaints about the sound. In fact, tonight, we took about 20 minutes to get
That's what
sound
I'm
going
saying.
just today.
Why are we splitting this? If we have it budgeted, why don't we just do it?
And we very well can.
She's just,
And
I
that
was
way,
just trying
then
to
aren't
mitigate
we,
the-
we're on the video part of everything, everything's done then.
Right.
all through one iPad.
On the 50,000 that was budgeted, the
Yeah.
non-glare TV was not included in that proposal.
Oh, it
So
wasn't.
that would be an additional cost because we did not talk about that at the time. That was something that would be added.
Can we ask her if we do it all at once, if she could throw that in?
That's exactly what I was.
I mean, they're gonna be
We all knew
here.
where that's going, yep.
She can have the old TV.
Oh,
Well, they were thinking about relocating the other TV over here and being
Right.
able to have both going at the same time so the board would then be able to see it from where they're sitting. So,
Oh.
because you wouldn't have a glare with it being flat.
Oh, okay. So then it sounds like we're authorizing you to go back and do some negotiating to get it all for us, right?
Motion.
Someone make.
So I'll make a motion to authorize Court Clerk Olson to negotiate the full audio-video package for presentation at March.
Second by Brian?
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we'll get an update for next meeting.
I'll make a motion that we approve Supervisor Reyes' letter to Walworth County Safety Commission regarding the intersection of County Highway J, E, and Town Line Road.
Second.
So, one comment, no, that's
All
good.
right.
Now we can have discussion. We have a first and a second. The only thing I noticed in here was perhaps something similar to the improvements of County Highway L, Stone School, Miramar would be a first step. I'm just questioning, because I had a lot of people bellyaching to me because we have stop signs. I had a few people bellyache because we're stopping a 50-mile-an-hour county road.
They'd be
So-
bellyaching a lot more if they were in an accident.
I understand.
I've heard a lot more positive.
I've heard
feedback.
positive.
Yeah.
All right.
If we're stopping State Highway 20, where it meets J, big different, I mean,
Right.
these are town roads and county roads
Yeah.
versus a state highway that's being stopped as a four-way
Right.
stop.
Right. So,
So you want to remove that?
no,
or-
I just brought up for discussion. Do we want to say, I don't know if that's going to be a
We
first
just-
step.
Okay.
Um,
We just want them to do the evaluation, right? So- Well, I was hoping to have everyone sign it tonight while we're here.
Well, we can all sign it and leave it in Supervisor Church's.
I'm meeting with her tomorrow.
But you
to
are,
sign
so we could have her
And I
sign.
can have the other people, Chief Grecki, I believe, was on there.
Right.
Yep. And then I can,
Do you have the latest clean copy?
I do not.
I am okay with
I
it,
believe so.
and I just wanted to bring it up, that's all.
Oh, Brian's good.
Did you change the date to 2026?
Oh,
Well,
thought so. And I know Chief Grecki suggested we change it to Captain Nichols
Yes.
instead of Mr. Nichols.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah,
Is that Dan Nichols?
yep,
Huh?
yeah, it says Dan up here, Captain Dan Nichols, isn't it?
Oh my goodness, I know that guy.
So,
All right,
Okay,
so
yeah.
I don't know if we're ready.
To sign it.
well, we
How
just,
can we get it?
oh, you don't, she
Oh, I
doesn't have,
sign it tonight.
she doesn't have the edit, or the editable file. Do you think you might?
Try.
But anyway, we
Too
have.
bad we
a
don't
person-
have electronic signatures.
Michelle, are there any edits needed?
We have a first and a second. Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so you can send that out.
Actually, Jean had a good idea that maybe the edits are only needed on page 1, so maybe tonight we could sign a page 2 and then just make a copy of that. As long as it's
You're
not
doing it with
two-sided.
edits.
As long as it's not two-sided.
Yeah, you're approving it with edits.
Right? Yeah. So I'm okay doing that, that's fine. I mean, you're not gonna.
Okay, so we gotta vote on the motion.
You just.
They just did.
You just
Just like, honey, sign the check, I'll let you know how much.
So let's keep it moving. So we just approved you to do that, so I think we're done. With unfinished business.
Did you vote on it?
I did.
I don't remember voting on it.
Well, the minutes have to reflect who voted what.
Okay, do you wanna take another vote?
Well, no, what's in the minutes?
Did she say?
Everyone voted except for Michelle.
Jean's not
Okay.
listening to us.
Oh.
Jean's not
She's
writing the
taking-
minutes.
Oh, hi, John.
So
Hi.
she didn't vote.
She did not vote.
Okay.
Oh.
Aye.
Aye, excellent. We'll call it a roll.
And I do have the letter as 2 pages.
Oh, perfect. Excellent.
Okay,
Moving on.
so no business, we skipped 11A. We're now looking at Clerk Treasurer Loth and I spoke. We had a person send in an email. We wanted to establish some criteria for when they need to be in order to be read, or if they're asked to be read, or where they'll appear otherwise. Did you have any thoughts on what was provided here?
I think that we should just simply go with the policy of the same deadline that we have for board members. It is part of an ordinance or a resolution, I don't recall which, Attorney Mills. And they have that same deadline. If we have it, it will be in the packet. They are not to be read at a meeting. They're available to the public in the packet. If we don't have it by the deadline, it will be published the day after with additional documents.
Yep.
As we do
Okay.
with any other submissions that come in late.
So they will not be read.
Correct.
And
You
that,
have to be in by the Tuesday before Or you the, don't even have to include anything that you don't want to on the town board agenda. So why are we even considering allowing anyone to submit things and thinking that it's gonna become part of the town board packet?
And we don't have to. We've just had people that have submitted things saying they want it part of the record.
part of the
Well,
record.
it's not in.
What do you mean, part of the record?
They want it read into the record. Well, we've never done that as a rule. It has been kind of wishy-washy. That's why we were thinking maybe we need to do something definitive. But I defer to you, Attorney Mills.
I will say in the past, we have had public comment sections where letters have been submitted and they were read by Chairman Clarkowski before. So, yes, that's not written anywhere, but that has been practiced in the past.
On some occasions, not always.
I don't know
I
that.
think we're overthinking this.
Yeah, so in other words, we don't have to do anything.
So would,
You don't have to.
Good talk.
I wasn't even sure what that meant when I read it.
so we're gonna just,
I'll make a motion to
We
table.
don't have to table, we just discussed.
Don't do anything.
no,
No action.
no action.
Okay.
And so then E is, oh, I'm
C.
sorry.
C.
C, I'm in the wrong. Possible action for the East Troy Railroad Bridge. So I put this together, I don't want to necessarily go through a lot of detail, but there's a group, there's the Wisconsin DOT, and then there's the Bureau of Railroads and Harbors. And that wants to force this to 23 feet high, when it is just barely below 18 right now. So the East Troy Railroad has already ruled on this and said they're happy with 18 feet. If you look at the two yellow spots, when you go to 23 feet, it creates double the impact space. It will probably over double the project. We only got $2 million from the state. It's not really a big discussion in my mind. Everybody, including Ayers and East Troy Railroad, have written and said 18 feet is sufficient. That's all I want to be able to.
This was already done. We were grandfathered into this. This was done when this originally came out.
Yeah,
Right.
but once they started doing the plans and submitted to the Bureau of Harbors and Bridges, or railroads, they want that 23 feet.
Too bad.
But then they came back, I thought, because we discussed this. and-
Ayers did, but once it went to the state, the state is the one that wants to try and force it 23 feet. Even though we recommended, the rail recommended, Ayers recommends it, for whatever reason, they want to try and push it to 23,
So-
which is,
What was-
it's possible to come up with.
Well, if you go to 23 feet, you're talking about 4-to-1 ramps on each
Yeah,
side of the road.
it's
It's ridiculous.
right, we went through all this.
So what I'm told by Jalel Sick, who is the DOT guy, he typically goes with what the town wants. And so all I'm looking for is an approval to let him know that we support the 18-foot approach, which stays within our budget and is supported by East Troy Railroad, and he will take that to Rails and Harbors along with Ayers and make a case for it, and it will go a long way. That's what I'm told. I can't tell you that absolutely they roll, but I think we should at least submit that.
I think your submission should be conditioned on that the Bureau of Railroads and Harbors can't do anything about the grant we were awarded.
You mean I can't impact it?
Yes.
Influencer, yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Wouldn't it create almost a dangerous
Yeah.
situation?
Of
Because
course.
it's already
You
a
can't
hill
even
there.
see now when you
Yeah.
go over it.
So that would be part of the discussion too, to leave it as it is.
Not only the dollar impact, but the safety.
Right, it's safety, it's all of it. It's crazy, quite frankly, and everybody on the call said it's crazy, but these guys are saying the book says 23 feet for railroads. So we're just trying to make a case into him to say, fold and give us this and let us go forward.
Well, you
It's
made
not
the
a
motion.
commercial radar.
I was gonna say, is it commercial railroad? That's one of the key
No,
things. is what I'm
no,
guessing.
it's like I said in here, it's a hobbyist type
Yeah.
railroad. It's
So is
tourism.
RH trying to flex their muscle like the DNR did with the culvert?
Yep.
Type deal? Right.
And we knew this when we had the meeting with Ayers, and it was proposed that this could have been a hurdle that we would have to get through with.
Yeah, I remember that now, but I thought that they thought,
They thought they would be able to try and just, okay, yeah, we'll do this with the railroad's recommendation, but if we send a recommendation also, it's gonna go a lot further.
So I'll make a motion to authorize
Go ahead.
Chairman Jones to express to document the town's strong desire to stay with the 18-foot 2-inch bridge height for the Beach Road Bridge project.
As
Based
long
on
as
the
there's no-
fact that the bridges and harbors cannot impact the grant money,
Yes.
funds.
Right, well, okay, so we.
Second.
So, discussion, that going to 18 feet is within the grant. That's the
Yes. Right.
point. So it would be, I would just say, and we don't have the ability, you would be impacting, I think I would say you would be impacting our grant.
Approval. Yeah.
If you do anything less.
Yes.
So, okay, that's how I would approach it. All right. Any other comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will send a letter. Four-way stop, this is really just,
Did we remove D? Or am I looking at an old ordinance?
I got D here.
Yep.
D.
We were going to remove it, we could probably keep the first part of it, but just remove the second part.
I thought we removed A.
We
Yeah.
did,
Okay.
but I thought we had discussion when we were putting the
Okay.
agenda together, that this wasn't going to be on this
Jim,
one.
you maybe are looking at an
No,
old agenda.
a different, you're looking at it.
Well, I pulled Michelle's and it's on hers too.
No, this,
It's a
that
four-way
was
stop.
another
That was a
right of
different item.
way issue.
Okay,
That was a different item.
okay.
So this one, effectively, I got a memo in here, it shows Rich Huff's note to me. Effectively, he just wants to inform us that he's looking at a four-way stop at the intersection of ES and Town Line, right, by the school, by the school there. He has notified the village, and he just wanted us to be aware of that, so that is, I don't know that there's any motion required here, except to maybe communicate that we're okay with it. That would be the motion, if there is any. If you want me to say that, if I need a motion to do that.
I think it was general consensus at the Tri-Troy meeting as well, the village and
Right.
the Troy were also.
But they said I had a,
It needs it.
yeah.
So, yep.
Well, do we need a motion then? I'll make a motion that we, let whoever know,
I will let Rich Huff know.
that we, let Chairman Jones let Rich Huff know that the town of East Troy is on board with said right away.
And Brian seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will send a letter. And I apologize having to put this stuff on here, but we have to cover everything, I guess. So I gotta put these little diddly things on here. So now we're into the attorney's. Yeah.
Okay, so, there's a lot on here, but I am not reading the ordinances because we don't have to do that.
What about,
We're gonna do item E.
Oh,
about that?
I'm sorry, there's no attachment, so I didn't see
Yeah.
it. There's an agenda item E, 11E, to authorize Attorney Mills to add to the consent agenda the DPW report, the police report, and the court report. They brought that forward. They just want to add it to the
oh,
consent.
yeah, I'll make a motion to allow Attorney Mills to amend ordinance 2025-6. An ordinance amending section 2.20.040 sub 1 regarding order of the business and adding consent agenda items, Department of Public Works report, Police Department report, and court report.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we'll update that and put it in the consent agenda for the future. Go right ahead, Attorney Mills.
Okay, under 12A, the first is approve a contract with Allpay for online payment acceptance as amended and establish all administrative staff as licensed users. I believe Jen did a memo on this for the board. I did review the contract, did not find issues with it. I think I had some comments about what might be annual fees that I wanted to make sure that,
There are 0 fees for the town.
okay.
This is all paid for by the end user fees that they pay for each time they use it.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll make
Yeah,
said
well,
motion.
You talked about, like, I saw your little okay question marks.
Mhm.
So section 3.3, it talks about service fees, and they can increase them
They
with
can.
a 30-day notice?
They can, but those service fees go to the end user. So whoever is putting the charge on their card gets the fee, not the
Makes the
town.
choice.
Right.
And that's their
Makes the
choice
choice.
to use that or not. We've used them for court for at least
At
6
least,
years.
yeah, at least all the time I've been here, a little over 4
And
years, and it's been before that.
There
And when you
never
do
been
take
service
credit
issues.
card payment, I hear you tell everyone, you understand they're going to assess like a 3.5%.
And mid-payment,
But
it
at the
does show you
kiosk.
what the fee is. But this is not the kiosk. The
No.
kiosk is
Okay.
using a separate system. So this is for within town hall and buying through the website.
So that was my other question, is it things like the dog license if they wanna pay it, and their
Yes.
taxes, and?
Yes.
Yep.
And the
Are we
taxes
gonna-
can be an electronic check, which has that fixed amount, rather than an 3.5% or what have you. I believe it's $2.99.
So
Thank you.
we've been waiting for MSB since
They were
November.
unresponsive.
When it was first introduced, there was a lot of problems with the contract that were signed. He said he was gonna get back to us, he hasn't done anything. We talked and said, let's move on to vendor number 2 because it's 4 months and we still haven't been able to offer.
I made a motion 5 minutes ago,
All right,
waiting for a second.
okay. Everybody hear his motion?
I think I did.
I did actually, yeah.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All right, all in favor of the Allpay contract?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so that passes.
All right.
There's no language in here about, like, what if there's a data breach?
Oh, what?
Like of our savings.
I missed it.
There's no language in here that, in the contract, like, what if they have a data breach and our resident's credit card is?
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
under
our
that right now.
issue.
It is.
They
That's their
they
issue.
voluntarily agreed to use their card.
It's like a
And
target.
unless the town was disseminating that information, I don't think that would come back to us.
Are they gonna be able to use it for
Oh.
like building fees?
Oh,
Yes. Well, no,
We
we're
have
not
to-
building yet.
Or signing a contract?
We'll have to work that out with Vince potentially.
But yes,
At
we're
this time,
planning
it's
to
probably
mission.
not.
aye.
She's not wrong.
We're signing a contract.
Discussion's over.
And the fees are just under like double from where we were. We were really hopefully getting really low fees, but I think you see what you're dealing with for the low fees. So,
Okay, 12B is an ordinance, it's a new ordinance, it's not going to be read. It'll show up twice. Basically, it says there's a cost to refund overpayments that are $5 or less. So unless the town is specifically requested to issue a refund check, we're not going to. And the monies will, I believe, go back into the general fund.
I don't know if I can ask for this change at this time. The county does currently, we don't write refund checks for anything $10 or less. It's typically, obviously, with tax payments. The county, it's $5 or less, and then they add the $5 fee. So if we're currently at $10 or less, and we add the $5 fee on top of that, you're talking about $15 for somebody to get a refund. That, you know, if it's $15 or less, they're not gonna get it,
right,
Aren't you subtracting $5? No.
so.
No.
Yeah.
So, I guess if this is
Wait,
some.
if you have to pay them for something, you're giving them an extra $5?
No,
No.
no,
So if it's $10, you're giving them a check for $5?
Correct.
Because there was a $5 fee?
I guess we could do that way.
No.
Correct.
But currently at $10, we don't issue a refund. And I know I wasn't in a position to make that comment when this was proposed.
Is this the second time we've had?
It is.
It was familiar to me,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's because new ordinances don't get read if they
Right,
appear
but I thought-
twice.
I thought that we discussed that during that time.
Right.
I wasn't part of that conversation.
Well, I understand
Yes,
that.
so that would just be my only thought. And
What,
and we
to
can
up
certainly do
it
it
to
this way.
15, is that what you're asking?
No. Currently, we don't issue a refund check for $10 or less. Now, if we're adding a $5 fee to that,
So then you're writing a check for $5 or less.
At a cost of postage.
So you're trying to
Yeah.
up it to like $15.
no, I'd like to see it reduced. That we write refund checks for $5 or more, and then if it's $10, I guess I don't know how to explain myself. Because currently, somebody's gonna lose out, because I'm not writing a refund check for $10 or less. That is our policy, is my understanding. I don't know.
But no
I
matter
don't know
what
if
you-
that's written anywhere.
Okay, then I'm fine with it.
Can you find that for me? Because I don't remember doing anything like that.
Well, that was it says, whereas the past policy has been to refund any payments over $5. I was like, well, what has changed?
Oh, I didn't realize that was, it was not the policy, it was $10, so
Oh,
I'm fine with that.
So do I need to make
Then
a
I'm fine with
motion?
I'm fine with it to leave it then.
Okay. She's fine to leave it.
So-
I don't want to change it.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-2, an ordinance creating section 3.30.045 relating to refund of certain overpayments to the town.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, 12C is our changes to our statutory weight limit ordinance. Todd had suggested last fall that we include a no-fee permit exemption that can be issued under our ordinance to farmers for use of their farm equipment that does not expire until the end of the meteorological spring for the year the permit had been issued. That was the only change.
It's supposed to be exemptions from
Where are you at?
the title.
Oh,
That's what I noticed in the agenda.
yes,
too.
yes, it is supposed to read that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
I think you asked me that once already.
I think you looked at my.
This is resolution.
I don't know where you are.
I don't
Anyway,
either.
I'm,
My book is not, doesn't seem to be in any.
So does it have to come back next month?
No.
No, not for a change.
This is
Okay.
not for an amendment, only for new ordinances, so it's done if you
I will make a
approve it.
motion to approve ordinance 2026-3, an ordinance amending sections 10.75.010 sub 2 regarding exemptions from statutory weight limits.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that's approved and off
Yes.
the agenda.
Next, 12D, it's the annexation ordinance. So there was an annexation request. When the annexation occurs and the town has property that's being detached from it, we need an ordinance that says for the next 5 years, whatever the taxes were on the property that we are losing gets paid for by, here it would be the village of McWanago that did the annexing. So
I'll make a,
this is a new ordinance, so every annexation is its own separate ordinance, so it has to be in the packet next month too.
The only thing I noticed in section E, I think it would be an ordinance which will attach said instead of attached. Just remove the ED. Section E, whereas the village of McWanago shall draft an ordinance which will attach said property.
Yeah,
Oh, mine says attached, ED.
oh, get rid of the ED, okay.
Limited to,
It has to go in next month.
I'm good.
So I'll just
So we don't have
make
to
that change.
do anything then?
I will revise that and make sure that when it goes in next month. Was there a motion made to
Oh, do we
approve?
still need
I
that?
don't,
No, there's
It
no
has to be
motion,
next
because
month?
it's just presentation right now. It doesn't get approved.
Well,
'Cause you're just-
yeah, because I'll
it's just
change
first
the
presentation.
date on it anyway.
And it's just first presentation.
But it will be approved in March because it'll be in
Yes.
the packet for
Correct.
March.
Yes, right, this one, it's just the first presentation.
Okay.
Good.
E, speed restriction regarding slow no wake hours. This came as a request from Potter Lake. All the changes are italicized. There was a change from year-round 7 PM to 10 AM, Potter Lake, 8 AM for Potter Lake, under sub 2, section 2, sub 5. Under 3, basically we're just changing the times and adding everything that was italicized. That came directly from Potter Lake. I didn't,
and you caught the Saturdays, Sundays?
I did add that.
And legal holidays.
On
Yeah.
section 10? the
Yes.
3
Yeah.
sub 10, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I have the updated one for you to sign here.
Okay.
Oh, okay. We did this last month.
I know, but it says.
This is an amendment anyway, so we don't,
I didn't realize Lake Beulah was Monday through Fridays till 10 AM was no wake. I thought it's not, it's sunrise, sunset.
Only Saturday, Sundays. and
This is
holidays.
written in here as Monday through Friday, sunset to 10 AM for Lake Beulah.
well, that's what I get for
That's not
Not
right.
double checking.
drafting exactly what they gave to me as a proposed
Dude, we
ordinance.
gotta get rid of that, or we're really gonna.
Well,
So this whole thing is gonna have to be redone then.
for Lake Peel and Army
That's
Lake.
gotta be wrong, that's gotta be redone.
Unless that's what the ordinance actually says.
I'm trying.
From
No,
sunset
I'm
to
trying to find
10.
what the
Okay.
sign
No,
says.
not during the week.
We have it posted on our
Isn't there some
website.
water skiing?
I think
Water-
it's what they
water-
pulled from
Water
the
skiing, it's
website.
water skiing.
Oh, and this is just for water
Well,
skiing.
that's
Yeah.
no change of water skiing or aquaplaning between the following hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
it's
is for water skiing.
That was and these are the times below.
Oh,
See,
okay.
we, I don't
I'm
think
sorry.
they didn't
Well, I
change
just
any of
haven't
that.
seen it now.
Right.
It's not italicized.
Well, Lake Beulah's italicized, that's why that caught me.
That's because Potter was in there, I think, before. That's why they separated. I don't have the old.
I thought during the week it was, Brian, am I wrong? It's not a free-for-all? It's-
I don't think it included Army Lake at all, and they wanted to include all the lakes.
But
But
there's,
you can
wait,
make a plane before that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on plane and all that, just no towing, no water. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's for years, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's still-
But there are a lot of people that did, now it's sort of,
Yeah, we do it during the week on Potter.
right.
So this is good then?
Because you added
yeah, it
something.
does say water skiing or aquaplaning.
And I made the correction that I'll have you sign here.
So we're good. Did we
Do
vote?
There was no vote.
do we have an amendment, or do we have a motion on the floor?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-5, an ordinance amending section 16.05.120 sub 2 speed restrictions and 16.05.140 sub 5 sub 10 additional restrictions regarding slow and wake hours.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so that'll go in. 12F.
Pardon?
Do you need to change on page 2 of this?
I don't believe so.
I don't have Joe signers now.
Okay. But I have a clean copy for him
Oh,
here. Next, ordinance amending section 2.20010, appointed officials. This came about after the special meeting last month, and it changes the appointment of town clerk treasurer to add a town clerk, a town treasurer, a deputy town clerk, a deputy town treasurer. It's for a term that's to be set by the board, except for the term for an appointed town clerk and for appointed town treasurer may not exceed 3 years pursuant to statute. Additionally, pursuant to section 755.10, the town board shall appoint at least one clerk of the municipal justice who, by statutory definition, is an employee under the judge's authority. So those were the only changes to that ordinance.
And there's no time limit on the court clerk appointment.
He does not create her contract. He would have some input on it, but the town board would still do a contract for that person, at will or otherwise.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-6 and ordinance amending section 2.20.010 appointed officials.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then we'll move on. 2026 motion approved.
The next 12G, ordinance 2026-7, so ordinance creating the aquatic invasive species. This came to us from Chief Gurecki last month. This is the second time you're seeing it now, but it's in a format that can be approved as an ordinance. So all I did is added the introduction for all town ordinances and then added signature lines at the end.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2026-7, an ordinance of the Town of East Troy Municipal Code creating section 16.35 to prevent aquatic invasive species.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We have an AIS policy.
Okay, so H and I are basically the same thing. Although I think I is on there separately because we need to schedule a public hearing. So we're gonna start with what's basically an amendment to an ordinance that was drafted and forwarded to the DNR for approval last year regarding the culvert work. So on page 1, the italicized language that was changed was I made reference to we're going to schedule a public hearing, that the waterway marker application and permit, which is identified by form number, with maps that are attached as Exhibit A, have been forwarded to the DNR and they have them in hand, and that the DNR told me that they will expedite review of this to allow for timely passage and enforcement. If you look to the bottom of page 1, we are going to notify the area where there is no water travel or use during the period of repair. It's going to be by signs that are placed rather than buoys. Duration, the DNR said they would rather see a commencement and end date because it would make enforcement of any violations easier. So we put an end date of June 30th on the project. That came from Todd. And we put a start date, I put a start date in here somewhere too, April 1st. Closure for said project will commence April 1st and conclude on June 30th. DNR said if we have to change those dates, it'll be easier if we have a block that's already set. I took out language regarding Department of Transportation for their approval on this particular ordinance. I put a sunset clause in here, travel restriction expires once the signage is removed. And this will become effective upon approval by the DNR and after a public hearing is held. So, once this is approved, I'll have you and Jean sign it, and then Jean, it has to come from a clerk. So I have the email address that you can forward this signed ordinance to.
And that's what this, whereas the town clerk has submitted this ordinance.
Yeah, it had been done in the past, but Jean will have to do
Oh,
it
it
again with
was
this new one. It was,
done before?
he said, I have your letter and Kim's letter from last June, I think he said.
Like, we're gonna try and do it right after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it's not shut down through June. People aren't gonna be happy with that.
No. Well, it sounds like it is going to be.
It's gonna be.
You think it still will be?
That's
Oh.
what Dan told me, he says make it till at least the end of June.
Okay,
They say 45 days once they get started, so that's,
okay.
he says better while they're prepared, make it a little longer. The sooner we get it done out, the better.
So on what will be forwarded, I have the waterway application and then the maps with placement of where the signs are going to go. So you'll see this at the end. I'll pass all my crap down to you. But there needs to be a motion, man.
To approve.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-5 as amended to 11/26 as presented. Do I have to read the whole thing?
No.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. So this will go to the public hearing next month.
Well,
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
yes. Todd, do you think whatever amendments are going to be required can have everything approved so we can have a public hearing on March 9th?
When I talked to Robert.
It's less than a
Nealon-
month.
When I talked to Robert Nealon, he says if you got it to me tonight, he would review it tomorrow, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I do believe we should be good.
Okay, is everyone, I just threw that out there, so I don't know if you guys are all good for 6 o'clock, March 9th?
I'm sure. Okay, you're tough on
Note to
6,
self.
right?
I'll remember. Note to self.
I'll make it a Teams and just send it.
It's a special meeting.
I'm good.
I mean,
So we need to make a motion
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we schedule a public hearing for 6 PM on March 9th.
Okay.
Is that Tuesday or Monday?
It's Monday, it's
Monday.
before our next.
It's right
board
before the
meeting.
board meeting.
30 minutes early,
Okay. I'm good with that too, that's all right.
then say second.
Second. That's right, thank you.
And then
All
you
right.
say all in favor.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. I'll just add, deal with it later, I guess.
Nothing late.
So then,
Next, 12J, Resolution 2026-3. This followed the special town meeting last month where you received permission to appoint a separate town clerk and a separate town treasurer. This is just documentation for town records that this happened.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 2026-3 authorizing appointment to separate town clerk and town treasurer positions.
Sorry.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so that passes.
And then the last one, under 12K, is Resolution 2026-4, appointing an interim town board supervisor. There are some edits I made on here. Michelle pointed out that the second whereas paragraph, the word "the" does not need to be there. And under the "now therefore be it resolved," under 2, I just said with a majority vote of the town board voting. I wasn't there. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, 3 board members did.
So was it 3-1 with Barb voting no, or did she abstain?
No, she voted no.
Okay, so I'm going to include that change in here. But that's it. It's
Then
just,
I will make a motion to approve resolution 2026-4, appointing an interim town board supervisor with corrections to be made.
I'll second.
thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so this 2026-4 motion passes. I think that's it, right?
That is.
So now we're in the meetings. One thing I was hoping to get scheduled is a workshop, if we could,
This guy.
to talk budget. We gotta fix the budget, and I think we should have some initial discussions, so, I don't know, when are people available?
I think we wanted to take
Let's
advantage of Brian's
talk about this in
experience.
May.
Oh, I think we wanted to take advantage of Brian's experience.
Yeah.
That's fine with that. No, just kidding.
I think we want to wait till the annual meeting.
Till when?
After the annual meeting.
Oh, in April.
Oh, so you're on board?
Well, and I say that just simply because of the fact that we have another election coming up. And yes, we are starting to interview and so forth. And quite honestly, I understand what you were saying about Brian's experience as an accounting per se. But it is a new board supervisor, it's going to be a new board supervisor to follow through with all of it. And should be part of those conversations, in my thought. But,
Well, we could get ideas. I mean, we don't, we
yeah, so,
can do this on our own, right? We can do a workshop. We don't
mhm,
necessarily have,
yeah.
No, we don't have to have a clerk there at all.
Right.
So,
It'll be a workshop.
what I was hoping to do is identify what are the low-hanging fruit opportunities, and then charge department heads to start looking for some cuts.
Well, if you're going to spend money that wasn't budgeted for, to have someone come in to advise the board as to what they're supposed to be doing for budgets, wouldn't you want them on board first?
Well, I definitely want to have them on board, I just don't,
You don't want to wait.
I don't want to wait.
Okay.
you wanna spend more time with us.
Yes, I do. We're $500,000 light, and I'd like to
Yeah.
find ways to get that. We targeted some things,
As we're spending money as we go, there's less time to make it up.
right, and so I don't know when, I gotta talk with Ellers. I mean, we can talk about it, I guess, and do it.
Well, the board on its own can identify its goals without them being part of that process, and then that might
Yeah, but
narrow their scope.
we can't do this outside of a public notice meeting, right?
No, you cannot.
So we'd have to have a workshop. So
Well-
we could call something through you and just the 4 of us get together?
Yeah, as long as it's noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a.
Well, let's-
like a
You wanna
budget
just do
workshop.
that, or?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we'll go
Like a
through
budget
Gene, but
workshop.
let's remember, I'm asking everyone to be at a meeting next week.
You've authorized a remote access for Barb, so you can't just say it'll be the 4 of us together.
No,
Because if she
five,
wants to
the
appear-
board.
I didn't mean that.
Five.
The 5 of us,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
That's not the intent.
The board.
Okay.
No.
The board.
I'm tired, is what's going on. There's
So-
4 of us
As
here.
well, I think it's important.
True.
I don't know how.
Yeah,
can
let's
be a
just-
part
You
Maybe-
have to be a part of
of
it.
it. Right.
Okay.
Here's what I would do. Let's get Gene some dates.
and then you
Well, I can
should
do
send
it
them to
anytime.
everybody,
I
and
can do
then,
it anytime, you know, I'm here, how long I'm here, so it's fine, it's fine. I just thought if we could push it.
but I'm saying,
It's,
to
and
see who's available when, is what I'm saying. But I'm hoping
Let's just do that by email.
Yeah, through Gene, we'll do it by email.
So
through
let's
Gene.
move on to the events here. Anything else there? I don't see ETA, ESD, that's the 19th.
Clerk Wolf,
I'm sorry.
I think we're waiting on you to go through the meetings.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, February 10th at 9 a.m., public test of the voting equipment happened. On February 12th, in-person absentee voting from 9 to 3. February 12th at 5 p.m. is the cutoff for requesting mailed absentee ballots. February 13th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., in-person voting. Actually, that goes until 5 p.m. I apologize for that time. February 17th, 2026, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. is the 2026 spring primary election. February 18th, 6:30 p.m. Planning Commission meeting. March 9th, 2026, 6 p.m. public hearing. March 9th, 2026, 6:30 regular town board meeting. And then, Michelle, when was the Booth Lake Lottery next week? What day?
February 18th
18th, at what time?
at 6:30, doors
Okay.
open. Same as the
And then-
planning commission.
I've got a couple for you.
Right.
All right,
February 19th, the ETA, ESD at 6:30 PM. That's for board members and clerk. The public's not invited to that, so. And also, don't forget, March 9th, we're starting at 6 PM.
She said
Special.
already.
yeah.
Oh, I heard her say 6:30.
The
She said
public
both.
hearing's at
Okay.
6, the regular town
Sorry,
board
I
meeting's at
missed that.
6:30.
Thank you. Michelle's mad.
Okay, and the 6:30 meeting is down in the.
Yes, it's not here, it's in the
Yeah.
county HHS building.
Yep. So,
And then I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Yeah, we do that.